that
We're
later.
talk about your jealous.
Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to Chick Chat Comedy Podcast. I'm Patty Rosborough. I'm here with the lovely, talented, and beautiful, and very Greek Carrie Carabas.
Hello, Betty.
Hello. And we have a fabulous guest today. Very handsome. Already people are like, he's cute on the Facebook picture.
He's
They're
so
like,
cute, but you can't tell with all this fucking thing on his head.
He's got the hat on, he's got the glasses, he's
he's
got the ears. You can't see how cute he is.
You know what's funny is that...
Wait, should I say his
I'll
name?
what-
Joe Matarese is here. Joe Matarese. Okay, go ahead, Joe.
It's
you can
funny because I haven't seen Carrie in a really long time, and she,
How long?
And I got fat, right? Say it.
No,
I got
she's
fat.
gorgeous.
No, you
Really
don't.
fat. Go on.
Your face looks exactly the same. You don't age. Always one of the prettiest girls in stand-up.
Of course.
Very
Oh,
gorgeous.
I love him.
Gorgeous Carrie Carabas. And it's funny because you have one of those You know, certain people have like a strong character, you know?
Yes.
And Carrie is one of them. So I could hear your voice in my head as I'm coming here because I know you so well.
Yes.
And even though we haven't seen each other in a while, I'm going, she's going to make me take my hat off. I don't know why I know that. She's going to go, take your hat off, Matarese. You
'Cause
bald?
He's so fucking good looking.
I
But
know.
I knew she was going to say, are you bald? Take your hat off.
But
You know,
why
I know
are you
you're
wearing
not
the
bald.
hat? Because we want the girls to see how cute you
Well,
are.
I had a long day, and I took a shower this morning, but like I need a haircut, and like I don't know. I
Nobody
just like
gives a shit.
I
Nobody
was doing.
cares if
I
you-
was all kind of sweaty. I just cleaned my face, and then I put a hat on, and I left my house.
All right. Okay. So I don't think he's going to take the hat off.
I'll take
So,
the hat off.
can I
but
tell
it's
the
not
story?
That great.
100 years ago, way back.
Yes.
We're
what's
in
the
LA.
story?
We're in LA. Were you living with the boys at the time? Was it you in that
Yeah,
apartment?
yeah, you came by.
Okay,
yeah.
so here's what
Who
happened.
were the boys?
Justin McKinney
Justin McKinney.
and you had an apartment.
Yeah.
And then Carl Dunnigan was another guy, but he wasn't living with you guys. So.
No, he didn't live
But
with
didn't
us.
I crash with you guys for like the beginning couple days?
Yeah, you
Okay.
did. That's right.
What do you mean you
Forgot
crashed
about
with
that.
them?
I stayed on their couch in their living room. So they had this really cool apartment in Manhattan, and I in LA.
It wasn't cool. I'm glad you thought it was cool.
No, it was cool because it was the comics apartment. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I had a development deal with Fox, and it was with a comedian by the name of Vince Morris.
I remember him.
Why don't I
And-
know this?
Yeah, he's very great.
He was like a
And
good-looking black guy comic that had like perfect teeth. That's all I
Oh.
remember.
we had a pilot that we shot. It was a modern day Odd Couple. I was Oscar.
Oh, I did hear about
I
this.
was
Okay.
Oscar. He was Felix. He
Okay.
was like an Urkel type black guy, adorable, whatever. And I was the slob, Felix. So, I mean, Oscar.
Can I ask a
was
quick question?
What?
So, because that's rare that two comedians get development deals and that they paired you together. I mean, usually either one person. How did that happen that they put two comedians together on a show?
Okay, so originally I went out after we did the Montreal Comedy Festival and had all
Mm-hmm.
these meetings with all these different networks. And I had gotten thrown into something I was with APA. So I ended up meeting this showrunner, Ralph Farquhar, who has done The Parkers, Moesha. He's done, everything he's ever done has turned to gold.
Any relation to Artie Farquhar?
No,
Farquhar?
none.
Not
Zero.
Fuqua.
Fuqua.
Farquhar.
Oh, that's
it says an R.
Anyway, so he...
Farquhar.
Farquhar.
Farquhar. So anyway, he met me and fell in love with me, and he was already working with Vince, and he was like, I need to pair these two up
Are
and
you
make a
serious?
modern day Odd Couple. Now this man, trust me, anything he's touched has turned to gold.
And he didn't even meet you doing stand-up. He just met you in person and
And-
gave you his...
and he
Wow,
met me-
I love that. That's how strong her
He
character
fell
is.
in love with you? Like
Yes.
you went out with him or he fell in love with you? Like,
No, well, he had a wife and a.
oh, all right. I don't know. I'm asking.
Carrie's one of those people, if you hang out with her for the night, you're like, I don't even need to see her do stand-up. Like, because you could tell what the stand-up's going to be
Yeah.
by hanging with her.
So he matched us together, and then we get the deal with Fox, and Fox held the pilot for 2 months. But we thought for sure we were in.
We're supposed to be husband and wife?
We were Oscar and Felix.
Yeah, but why
you
are you
why were you living
living together, a
together?
white
You were
woman?
friends?
Together, the
Right.
modern day Odd Couple.
So you were both
I was-
single and friends, but not
I
together.
inherited a Central Park apartment from my grandfather. This is how the backstory went. And then he moves in. I was a bartender slob, and he moves in, and he's this guy who could help me pay the rent, for whatever, the maintenance, whatever it is.
All right.
I get
And
it.
we had a love interest, but we never got together.
Okay.
But
But no one was gay.
Oh, so it
No.
was the sexual tension thing.
There
like
was a
they had
sexual tension thing,
in
but we never,
Cheers and all
right?
that.
And it would have been hilarious because let me tell you something. Vince Morris really is
Neat.
neat.
never
You could tell
saw
by
him.
looking at him.
I mean,
He's
I
like
never met him.
he's a black Sebastian Maniscalco.
Oh,
where
he
you
is?
could just tell
Yes.
he's put
great.
together.
He's great. I love him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I come down now from New York to move there to do the pod, to do whatever, to become famous, and I move in with them for like a week before my apartment was ready.
Right. And the funny thing was, I think you started fixing up our
I
place,
cleaned-
even though you say you're the
I-
dirty person, but you were going
It
nuts
was
on
dirty
our
on
place.
TV.
Yeah.
I
cleaned the
I
place?
cleaned their place up. I made them dinner every night. Remember,
Really?
I bought dishes. Anyway,
What dishes?
they had
Yeah.
nothing.
Carrie.
So wait.
I would never
So,
do that.
As I'm living there, I'm noticing these suicide charts on their refrigerator, and each one had a suicide chart. And
Yes.
I'm like, what the hell
What
is
is
this?
that?
This is such a legendary story. It's like I think this has came up in pitch meetings before, and like kills in the room.
What is
we
it?
we had a chart that like mine would say Joe Matarese, and imagine a comedian's chart where it had like his day to day and peaks and high. Like Joe has a callback for a blah blah
And
blah.
it goes
And-
up.
Yeah, then it goes up, and
It was a
then
callback.
then
And he didn't
they-
get the part.
You know, then he was late and couldn't find a parking spot, and they told him "fuck you, no,"
And now it
whatever.
drops
and then
down.
there was like a razor at the bottom for if it got really low, you
Like
would
to
kill
kill
yourself. Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I'm like, what is that? They're like, oh, it's our suicide chart. I'm like, oh, my God, that's really weird. So now, like 2 weeks later, I come back, and there's a suicide chart with my name on it. And I go, what are you fucking guys kidding me? You're jinxing my fucking show. They go, no, it's
terrible.
just a chart. And then, whatever. But, like, it was funny because you're like, this is where what was his name again? Your
Justin?
roommate, Justin. This is where you got the Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial. That's where it didn't air.
Yeah.
So it was like,
so
so all of
funny
a
how
sudden,
many-
there was so many highs and so many almost kill yourselves.
Kyle Dunnigan had
So many.
I've never seen anybody get so
Why? What?
close so many times.
To fame.
So close.
I've never heard of him, so I'm
Oh,
assuming
yeah.
he never
Kyle
made it.
Dunnigan is one of the funniest guys ever.
hilarious.
In Long Island?
Ever.
I
He
mean,
Ever.
in L.A.?
He lives in L.A.
Yeah,
now.
but he was from New
He
York.
was managed by Lucian at the comic strip where we are right now at
Kyle
one
Dunnigan.
time.
Why don't I know this
Kyle
guy?
Because he
Dunnigan.
was a New York City guy and then went right to L.A.
And
Okay.
He
He's
was
so
a very
funny.
big on. He was on a few sketch
So
shows on
cute.
network television.
Okay.
He's amazing at like
Everything.
sketch comedy is one
His
of his
voices
best.
are
yeah,
funny.
he just does crazy, hilarious.
Been
sketches.
on Stern.
Howard Stern had him on a lot.
And then he has a loop of him. Like in one of his, like in his
Oh, he
promo,
does?
it's a loop of.
Well, Kyle used to be on
Kyle.
Howard doing Donald Trump.
Oh,
He's
okay.
so funny. Anyway, so I come there and I see my fucking suicide chart, and I'm like, "Are you guys trying to jinx me?" They're like, "No, it's just your chart. It's whatever." And then all of a sudden, 2 months after whatever, they don't pick up the
Oh,
pilot.
that's so heartbreaking.
I was almost at the razor. I was like,
It's so funny.
That
Like,
is so
That was
horrible how
the
this
best.
stuff
Those
goes.
suicide
It was-
charts.
Well, the classic thing that I'm realizing in that story is how similar it is to like exactly what happened. I don't know if mine happened before yours or after, but I had one of those development deals where you think it's going to happen,
And then
You
it-
did?
then it,
With who?
and then
With
it
who?
doesn't. And that, but here's what's similar because you said, "Oh, why are you writing a suicide chart?" It's because we kind of were guessing because it happens to all of us. Mine was with Greg Rogel right before I moved to L.A. Right after I got the development deal, he goes, "Oh, why are you moving to L.A.?" And then I told him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I was with that agent, and I had one of those development deals, and it's not going to get made, and you're going to move
said
back in
that?
about 8 months."
Oh my God, that's
He was
so.
like, and he was dead on. He was
dead
off
on.
by 2 months. Like I was back in a year
Wow.
with no television show and a little bit of money,
Oh my God!
But,
It's
the
worst
heartbreaking. This is
feeling.
a
Yeah.
heartbreaking
Because you know
business.
what?
It
Hollywood
is.
doesn't know what they're doing. Our show would have been a hit. But I think everything happens for a reason, because had I gotten that show, I would have never had my kids now.
I'm the same.
And
yeah.
me too.
Yeah, I would have never moved. I moved back from L.A. not for career. And it's funny because I was actually writing something about this today. But
Why'd
not
you move
because
back?
I wanted the wife and the kids. I was like, I can't live here. These girls are horrendous. I was 36.
They were all hot.
Hot and just really like crazier
Dumb.
than me.
In LA?
Crazier
Wait,
than me.
didn't you have a joke, or was this you were
Yeah,
telling
I
us?
did.
You go, I like my dysfunction to you
You can't
slowly.
give it away fast. It's got to be like layaway. Ease it in.
Ease in
I
the
tell you
dysfunction.
nice, you give me weird. One by one. I had a bit about it.
It was
And how-
hysterical.
yeah, and
And how-
it was based on this Asian girl that I dated when I was out there.
And she was
who-
crazy?
She was in that movie Miss Congeniality.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I like
She
that
played
movie.
Miss Hawaii in it, right? She was gorgeous,
Gorgeous.
but crazy as you could believe. So, and I had the whole bit was like word for word shit she said on like our first date, and how it was like way too much dysfunction, and like the punchline was like, okay, well, do you want to order? Like the waitress is here, like she was saying all of it,
My father raped me.
Yeah, it ended with never had an orgasm.
That's what you-
ever.
Great.
She told me never ever had. I'm like, and she
Well,
was
that
divorced.
was
I
that
was
like
like-
incentive for you?
Yeah, I was
try
going to say that would that would mean like stay.
A lot,
It-
listen,
'cause
a
that's
lot
right.
of girls use that line.
What does it mean?
Oh, is this what it's supposed to feel like?
Thank God you came along and changed my life. But for you, did you feel like, oh, then I'm going to show her what an orgasm is?
Well, I know I never made her have an orgasm. I wasn't the guy that did, and
So how is sex fun if she's not having an orgasm?
that's what was crazy.
Couldn't
She
she
was
make herself?
she was super sexual, like unbelievable.
Because she was
sex.
all pent up.
All unbelievable sex.
If you never came, wouldn't that be like?
But if I never came, I would be the meanest, angriest person in the world. I would be a horrible bitch. Like,
She was half
Pat
Asian.
is joke.
She was
Do
a
your
sweetheart.
joke, Patty.
That's my joke.
When a guy asks, "Did you come?
he goes, are you coming? I go,
Did you come? Did you come?"
20 minutes like rigor mortis to sit in. Am I coming? Not only not coming, I'm this close to going. Get my coat. Get my fucking coat.
I'm getting out.
I'm getting out.
I'm leaving.
Too many questions. All right. So how long did the Asian girl last? You were always with hot girls.
Always.
That didn't last that
Always
long.
younger hot girls, I will say.
Yeah, I had a lot.
That's
of
why
those.
when you got married, I was like, when I heard you were getting married, like all comics, I
And his
think.
wife is cute.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
got married late though.
And I thought it's never going to work. Like that is always.
Really?
I always think that about
Certain
comics when they get married.
Not him. I always knew he was gonna. Him, like Justin McKinney,
He's
all
still
those
married
guys.
too.
Yeah.
Kyle never settled down though. He was our only one out of all of us that still lives in L.A. There was like
Is he
Tim
still-
Young was there with
Oh
us.
yeah. Did he get married? Tim Young was always about doing facelifts.
Yeah, he
and
was, like,
hair
bionic.
plans.
Wait a minute. He got a facelift?
He's
Tim
had
Young?
everything
God,
done.
he's had everything.
Teeth,
Teeth,
eyes,
implants.
His teeth are way too white.
nose,
Richard,
hair.
that's really funny about that because I've always thought his eyes. I mean, I hope he's not listening, but his eyes.
He is not.
Are too fucking high up and open, and I thought, what is that eye gaze? Is a little off. It's probably because they were lifted too
Right.
high.
I don't know if he didn't do a like skin
might have
eye
done
thing.
bo- he
he
might
did
have done
laser, like where you
Oh
Oh.
no! He's done.
He Botox?
Come on. Come
Really?
on. He looks younger than we do.
But wait
I
a
haven't
minute, I
seen
don't
him in
understand that
12
because
years.
he's like the guy who's always visiting the Dalai Lama and taking a donkey to the. Why
Well-
would that guy give a shit about what
Because
his
he
face looks
does.
like?
Isn't that odd?
That is
That's what's
weird.
weird about this business. You'll meet people
Weirdos.
that are health nuts that are doing cocaine all the time. You're like,
Right.
how are you a health nut? Like,
Yeah.
how is
But I
that
eat-
coming together?
But I eat organic.
Yeah, what does that mean?
I know, it's so
You
crazy.
got a hole in your nose, but you won't eat fucking red
Yeah,
meat.
yeah.
But why are you
Vegan
now?
is
You're
something.
skinny. How are you skinny? You work out every day? Like, yeah. How old are you? I don't know how old you are.
I'm
But
turning 50.
you're turning
in,
50 and you have the body of a
Oh.
20-year-old. Like, why?
Thank
Why?
I always say I thank my father as my dad. I think it's good genes, but
You
my
never-
brother does way more than me. But he eats like a fucking house. My brother.
Really?
And he was pretty skinny recently. We're both on antidepressants now, and I think I've learned how to
That
not.
worked?
I gained weight
You gained
when
weight
I
on
first
antidep-
went on them.
Lexapro?
No, I'm on. Well, it's almost the same as Lexapro.
Why you're
Celexa-
depressed?
Celexa.
Was it after seeing your set on fucking America's Got
When I-
Talent?
Yeah, no, that really set me off.
Let me tell you something. Those motherfuckers. Because this guy is so funny. And the
I know.
first set you had,
Standing O.
You it was. I'm like, there's Joe. He's going to take this down. And then all of a sudden, the second one, they cut it up to make you look so bad.
Here's
Glad
the
you
problem.
could tell
They
it was
gave you
cut
no audience.
No
Why-
audience
Why is there
either.
no
Forget
audience?
about that. They
I'm
cut
not. I am not good without an audience. I will say
Oh
that.
my God! But you're hilarious
But they
in real life.
exaggerated
But
it.
why
They
would
cut it up.
why-
I saw them.
Well, not only
Why
did
would
they
you
cut
put
it
a
up.
comic in front of no audience? Hey, if you had done that set in front of the audience would have been screaming. They must have already known who they wanted to pick.
That's why,
and they were
like,
getting rid of you.
They did, because if I've said this on a lot of different radio shows.
That's why we'll not go on that show.
You shouldn't.
yeah, because
'cause
they
it-
can make you look bad.
Yeah,
No, and
not
then
only-
I'm a sore loser. I will go and smash their fucking heads
Well,
in.
I kinda did,
telling
but
me
they
I'm
cut-
not
But
funny.
you know what? I'm surprised they left it in when you
I
said you
said
guys
something.
are just not laughing on purpose. You said I feel like you guys aren't giving me anything.
Well, I'm too smart to know. How do you get? You gave me a standing ovation.
And then
how
you're
does
like-
that go from the fucking cold stare?
Right,
That doesn't
right,
make. You
right.
should. A normal person who stood up and clapped for you and
Yeah.
said, like Howard Stern said, that was. He said something like that was inspirational. Like
Right,
Howard
right.
never says.
Because you're
nice,
hilarious.
right? And then to come back and just stare at me. I was like too smart to know. I'm like, this
so
isn't
weird.
normal behavior. We're
But
good
they
at reading
cut it
people.
up to make it look I
Yes.
could tell they cut it up. It wasn't even in the same sequence. I was like, what the fuck? They purposely
Right.
did
Yeah.
that.
And the joke that they hated that they did air is like 2 applause breaks in my 1 hour
Which one?
special.
Which joke?
It's a joke about let me see if I can remember. So isn't it funny how
I
hard
told
it can
the
be
jo-
to tell a joke that you told
I told
like
the
2
joke
years ago?
about your son, the wiping the ass one to Kevin, and he laughed out loud when I was telling him the joke.
That one might have been in there in that
It-
second
it was
set.
in the second
yeah,
set.
that one. Well, what happened was,
whatever.
here's what made it really hard. Well, there's 2 bullshit things in the America's Got Talent. The one is like what you said. They knew that they weren't going to keep you. Dan Natterman was with me in the running then. As you know, he went longer into the show.
Wait, he was on the same season as you, Dan
Yes.
Dan
Yes,
Adderman?
yes.
Now Dan
He got screwed
this.
too.
No, he got to skip that whole round. They just put him over. They
right,
let him
because they didn't want
knew
2
they
comics.
had their guy.
But it pisses me off. They didn't want 2 comics.
It
They
wasn't.
just
No,
want-
there were other comics left. There was like 4 of us. But Dan's my age. He's just the
Right,
Jewish neurotic.
right,
You know, I'm
right.
the same age. They went with, all right, we got our. Because the other comic that they kept was like 14 years old, and it was like his 3rd time. So they had the young, and then they had the Dan, and then they had a girl. If you remember, Wendy Liebman was
Oh,
in
yeah,
that year
yeah.
too.
Yeah,
So
what
they had the
happened to her?
girl.
How far did she go?
She went.
I turned
less-
it off after
Dan
they
went
got rid
further
of
than
me.
her, but she went a couple times.
And she's very funny too.
She's really funny.
I can't do.
So
I would have
funny.
been so
I cannot do contests.
pissed. I hate contests. I think that they're.
Tell me I'm not funny, motherfuckers.
But,
Well, that's like I said.
but the problem is,
I
if
did
you do go far, it does help you. You know what I mean?
It's,
With
you
your
know what's
career.
weird is I only went 1 episode on
And
that
it-
stupid thing.
Did it help you?
It still does. I get it gets you corporate work. That's why guys,
Oh.
you know, might want if you have a corporate kind of act.
Yeah. Clean.
People that hire people for that shit,
Yeah.
they just look at America's Got Talent. That's really what they go to. They're like, all right,
Really? That's it.
He was
Carrie.
on it, he
Maybe
was
you
on it,
need
he
to.
was on
they
you
pick
need-
guys
You know
from
what's
it.
amazing about Hollywood? You
Go
can
ahead.
have 5 failures in a row, and they're still going to give you that shot for the second. It's almost like even though you're making a failure movie, they go, "Oh, well, he did that movie."
Yeah, it doesn't
Because
matter.
half of the times they don't even watch it. As long as they know you've done these movies, even though they all suck, you're still going to get another fucking movie shot.
Yeah, it
It's
helps.
amazing.
It helps to have a resume because everybody's nervous. So at least if you have a list of things, it looks like we don't have to worry about that
You've
guy if
done
we
like
hire
though
him.
like you did. You did Stern. Now, why were you on
well,
Stern?
that's-
Was that after that?
No, it was before. That's what else was odd.
What
Yeah, you
happened
Is
were
this
on
guy's
it.
acting as if he doesn't know
No,
me? I'm
you're
like,
right.
you interviewed
Because
me
he
for
can't-
3 hours.
But he can't know you.
Right.
Because
Oh,
then
yeah,
it would
yeah.
look like maybe that was another thing. Maybe the producers
maybe they
found
found out.
you were on his show,
No,
and
'cause-
then if you won, they would have said, "Well, Howard." He knew Howard before. Maybe Howard was biased and wanted to push him through. So
well, here's the thing, though. Wendy Liebman had a strong connection to Howie
Howard?
Mandel because she used to
Ah.
write for
just
him,
to fuck him
just to fuck him, and then
With
clean
a
him
condom.
afterwards,
Picture that.
with a condom.
and clean him with alcohol. No,
He's
Purell.
the germaphobe. He has a little house behind his house. When his family gets sick, he goes to that house
He's
and lives
weird.
there.
Well-
He's crazy.
I don't know if this mattered in the game, but when you have these things go down, it's hard to not think back and then try to figure out why it went this way for you.
Yeah.
And one thing that only I could think is the reason maybe is, and this would piss you off if you I know Carrie's going to go, what the fuck? This is what they do.
What?
You start to feel when they're doing, because they do a lot of interviewing with you, it becomes like for 2 weeks, it's like a 12-hour-a-day job that pays no money. You're like, you're there for 12 hours every day, sitting in a room staring at a wall, and then they go, oh, sorry, we didn't need you today at the end of the day. Come back tomorrow, bring your outfit again.
And bring your family. You got to bring the family back.
I'm like, my wife has a full-time job. Can you get her here? You know? And then they start trying to pull the story out of you.
Oh, yeah.
Before they turn the camera on, they'll go.
Well, I'll make one up.
No, but here, this is not what I'm saying, though, is they got a little bit of me. If you saw in the first episode, I was the guy with the wife and kids.
Yes, yes, the
so
interviews.
I don't play ball if you're going to make me lie. Because they were like, all right, we're going to turn the camera on. I need you to say if this doesn't work out for you, you're going to quit comedy and you're going to have to go get a day job. And I'm like, no, I'll be fine. I've been doing this a long time. I've had a million bad things happen. I know how it works.
Right.
No. All right. We're going to turn it on again. And I was just like, you know, and I start giving them what they want, but probably not fully. You know, it's not real.
If I went in, I would have to create this whole fucking lie about a dying grandmother.
Yeah, that's what they want.
And how, you know, she's on life support. And just when they're like, well, let's go. Well, she just died. She just died.
It's my grandmother's dream that I win.
It was my grandmother's dream, and she was picking, you know, potatoes her whole life, and she never got any. They had no money. They want these horrible
They want it to
stories.
be. They want it so that when the person wins, everyone's crying.
Going,
that's
they deserved it.
That's the whole point. There was another guy. I wish I could remember his name, but his mother had MS, and they said to him, "Listen, we want you to talk." He said he got like a huge response. I don't know if it was a standing ovation, but like he did great. He got past all 4 judges, and then they said to him, okay, so what? This time we want to talk about your mom with the MS. And he goes, that's nothing I want to talk about on the air. And they go, no, we really need you. You just say a few things about your mother having MS. He goes, I really don't want to use my mother in that way. And they go, okay. And he went up, and no one gave him a pass. They just shut him down. He was out. So I do think it's the story.
Well,
yeah,
so
I play along.
Look, I can make up a story like that.
No, but if you have a real one, it does help because then they can go to it and
well, Julius Scotti is like, I was a guy.
Yeah,
that's a great story.
Yeah, how did that not
great.
go further?
That was
I
great.
thought
You're
it
not
would
going
go
to get
further.
any
I
more
had
than
a
that.
dick one time, and now I don't.
Plus, he said fuck too, or she said fuck.
On TV?
Yeah,
And they
they
just
bleeped
beeped
it.
it?
They
On
bleeped
each
it.
one, she said fuck.
That was a mistake. That
Well-
shouldn't have. That's another thing I noticed in it.
No, you know
that
why
if you
they
got
allowed
TV
it?
friendly, it helps.
You know why they allowed it? Because she was an old lady, and it was humorous
It was
that
funny.
an
Yeah, an
old woman.
older woman saying fuck is funnier.
I'm not saying it's not funny. I'm saying that if you want to win a show on an 8 o'clock on NBC,
yeah.
Don't say fuck.
you should go squeak.
Clean.
If you can be really clean, it'll help.
Well, then
Maybe
I'm
she
out.
didn't have. I know that's
Because
the
I
problem.
would call them all motherfuckers.
I would love that. And then that's what Dan
Especially-
Natterman used to say. He wouldn't say it on stage, and he would
What?
say it off stage, and to me it's hilarious.
What?
Yeah, I remember a funny story about it. One night we're working together at what was
Carrie
that
cut you
shithole?
She's great at it.
What was that
She cuts you
dumb?
right off.
Because I'm done with the fucking Howard Stern fucking story.
So I guess we all are.
So we're working against
For
Hartford,
Connecticut.
Connecticut. So I'm opening for him. And
I think I was opening for you. You were headlining.
Oh no, I was headlining. You're
That's-
right. I'm sorry.
It's a long time ago.
I was going to have to throw that in. It was a long time ago.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
I don't want to follow Carrie.
Oh, no, who does?
No.
So he's going up. So we go to him. I go to him, Joe. Make sure you duck your head when you come out on stage.
That is the low
Oh
hanging
shit!
ceiling.
Yeah, that
With
was
a
you.
low
All
ceiling.
of a sudden, he comes out and bashes his skull in and almost
I
passes out.
love your memory.
And he's like,
I almost chipped my tooth because I was like, ah.
you. So wait. The next night,
He
Did it
does
again.
it
I
again.
go to him,
Stop
Joe,
it.
don't fucking watch your head on the thing. He comes barreling out again and bashes.
That's a
You
perfect
bashed
segue for the
yourself.
pill that
Now
I'm
you're
holding.
taking. What
Carrie.
pill are you eating now?
This
Viagra?
Well, this is Adderall.
Adderall. Okay.
And if I don't take it, I get injuries, and I've only been on it for a couple of years. So
What does
back
that
then,
mean,
no.
injuries?
It's I hurt myself because my it's an attention.
Attention deficit.
Yeah.
Wait a
So
minute.
when my attention's bad, I forgot that you told me, and then I do it again the next
right.
night.
Adderall though makes you lose weight. It speeds up your metabolism.
That could be
So
why I'm
Maybe that's
skinny.
why you're
that's
skinny.
exactly. Let me have one of those.
This is it. See, these aren't the
me
normal
see
ones
what
that I
it looks
normally
like.
take. I ran out of them. So this is a quick acting one. The kind I normally take are extended release, so they kind of slowly work. This one, I wanted to try something. It's like an experiment that I'm going to do on your show.
Okay,
I've never
great.
done this.
Oh, we'll see.
Oh,
Because
hopefully
usually
you'll-
I'm on it. And once in a while I'll forget it, and I'll bomb on stage, or I'm horrendous in an interview.
Oh wait, you
I
have
don't-
to take it before you go on stage.
Yes, because he'll
Yeah.
forget his act.
I forget my act. People sometimes there'll be little long pauses, like what the fuck is next, or what did I just? You
That's
know when
how
you have
I
that
am.
moment when you ad lib on stage,
Always.
I'll forget what I started.
next thing
I'm
is?
like,
No,
what?
or how about when you
No.
do a joke and you go, I don't know if I did this, but I'm going to do it. And if they look at me weird, I'll know that I just did that joke.
I
Yeah.
always go, hey, did we talk about the
Did I do
da-da-da
that
this?
already?
And then they go, no, and I go, okay, and then I do it. I
Yeah.
always ask them.
Yeah.
And then if I
when
start,
you're honest, it's funny.
when I start talking to the crowd and I go off on somebody, and then I come back to I go, oh, I don't know what I was talking about. And then there's a big dead silence. I go, anybody know what I was talking about?
And
then
somebody will
There's
remember.
always one person who's paying attention.
Yeah.
and
Your
knows.
husband's hairy ass.
Well, it works for me because I do jokes about having ADD. So when ADD really happens,
Oh, yeah, that's good. Then
They,
you-
they
then
don't
you have to
mind it as
joke.
much.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
they're like,
that's
oh, he's not bullshitting. This guy
So that
needs
that
it.
helps, right? It clears you right up.
Maybe
It-
I
it's-
need
but
Adderall.
here's the thing: I can't I'm a chatty guy. My wife can't stand how much I
Yeah,
talk.
I never shut up. I'm like that.
I think a lot of comedians are,
Can't
but when I take this pill, I'm a fucking even worse. Like she wants to kill me.
Really?
Yeah, and when this wears off, I get a little nasty. Like you could get in a fight, you could get in an argument with somebody.
Take it now. I want to see the progression.
Well, you're not going to hear nasty because this will last like 2 hours.
Oh, okay. So we'll get
There's a
the
piece
good.
of paper on it, but I'm
Oh, you
curious.
can eat the paper. You
Paper.
can eat
You
the
can eat
paper.
paper.
I'm
wood.
I'm curious if you will notice, if your fans will notice, and I don't know if any of my fans are watching this on because I
did
don't
you
know
put
if
it
you
on
put it
the-
on my Twitter.
I shared it on your Facebook and your Twitter.
And do
So
I
you
have
can
to
look and see
retweet it to get people to see?
Robin Fox just
It'll
said.
just go up there.
What does
Robin Fox
say?
just said she has ADD too.
Who's Robin Fox?
You don't
She's a
know. She's so
comedian
funny.
from
You're
Jersey.
So this is let's see. I think this is 15 milligrams of
I'm just
regular
seeing if anyone's
release,
writing
not extended release. I'm going to take it now, and I'm in like 20 minutes. I want to see if I'm
Okay,
better
we'll
on
te-
your show or
it.
worse.
Okay, we will tell you.
But you guys see, you know what? I don't need
Take the
ADD
fucking pill.
when I have a connection that's real.
Right.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm
I
talking
get what you're
Only
saying.
comedians understand that. Like, there's a lot of shows that I do where I go, I don't like this person. Like, and I have to act like I like them, and we're not good.
What
like,
do you-
certain people you're just not good with. Like, I'm not good, and my fans know because I posted something up once where I had, like, Jim Norton, Artie Lang, and Anthony Cumia all on one thing at once with me, and I don't have that wabam, wabam, wabam. I'm
Like
more
Norton's
no.
a fucking
They're
genius.
they're geniuses and quick, and they know how to shit on you really fast.
Oh,
and
I
there
would
was
be-
an audience there; it wasn't a podcast.
Oh.
So they were, it was their audience. So they were just crushing. And I was trying to shoot a pilot.
Oh, I read it.
I posted it
I listened to that podcast about that whole
about
thing.
it. Yeah.
Yes, it
So
was very funny,
it
yes.
was the dumbest thing. If
could
I
have
wasn't
done.
doing a pilot, I could have laughed at myself. But I was like, "What the fuck?" Like I paid for a guy to shoot this.
And now they're shitting on you.
I should have interviewed them one by one, not all three at
They
once.
ganged
There's-
up on
Yeah,
you.
it was a
Artie
gangbang.
Lang is amazing at
It was a
crushing you.
gangbang.
Yeah, it was a gangbang, exactly. So I'm going to take the pill.
Okay, we're gonna see.
We're
But
going
you
to
don't take
gangbang
water
you
with
too,
it?
but it's going to be different.
I'm just curious.
Gary goes first.
But I'm like I said, you
That's
won't
true.
notice
Those
because
sloppy seconds for you.
you won't notice because like there's certain people that I don't need to be on it with, and I can still do a good podcast. And I can tell this is my first time with you guys, but I feel comfortable. Nick DiPaolo and I are really good together on
Oh,
a
okay.
podcast. I don't need to be on the meds.
I
Okay.
love DePaulo. Somebody
But
compared me to him.
Anthony Cumia.
Yeah, Kevin Brennan calls
Sorry.
you DePaulo with a vagina.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
kind of is. Yeah.
So Anthony Cumia,
When I'm with Cumia, we have a good connection when I'm on Adderall, but when I'm not, this is when I'm bad. If there's a second guest, we're on at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not good.
Why? Because
I'm
you
not
feel
good
like
in
you're
groups.
competing.
Can't focus.
Like you guys asking me questions is why this is working. Like you're curious.
Okay.
Jim Norton's, it's tough for his curiosity. Looks like he's waiting, like he's asking a question, but he's got a
ready to-
punchline that he's gonna fucking destroy you with as soon as you answer.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
that's-
like a guy pitching who knows he throws 104,
Yeah.
and you got a wiffle ball bat.
Right.
You know, you're not gonna be able to
That's
hit it.
really quick.
Yeah. So I'm not very good with so you're probably good with, I'm guessing you guys are good no matter who's interviewing you, or is it not that way?
Well,
Is
we
there
didn't
certain
get,
guys you go,
we
I'm not good
interviewed
with
that
them?
much. We're comfortable with
When
Kevin
you do
Brennan.
radio for
Kevin
gigs.
Brennan, where it's.
Yeah, no one really gives a shit what I do.
I
But do you have somebody you
we're
go,
not
that
in
just
high
went
demand.
terrible and you knew it was
yes.
going to go bad?
When I have to do like a gig in Albany, he used to make me do like morning radio, and he'd go, "You got to call in this one, call in that one," and he goes, "Make sure you do material." It's like, fuck, I don't want to do material because my material is weird. It's not gonna. I'm gonna talk about gray pubic
Yeah.
hair at 7 a.m. You know, it's like so I would call in. I'd have everything written down, so I knew, you know. And he goes, "Give her the questions ahead of time," and I would do it, and I never. And the woman just goes to me. She goes, "I do the joke," and she goes, "Uh-huh." Okay, just like that. I was like, what? And then she goes, okay, so what about your daughter? You have a daughter? And I go, yeah. She goes, she's in middle school? I go, yeah, I do my middle school thing. I swear to God. She goes, okay. No fucking laughter. No, nothing like, oh, that's crazy. I got a daughter too. You know, even if you're not
Yeah.
going to laugh, just go. But she was just like, well, I guess that's it. And that's how she ended it. And I called up the guy from Albany. I go, I will never do another fucking morning radio show for those people. And I will never do material because material doesn't always work at like 7 o'clock in the morning.
And no one's listening.
It's tough to do in a phoner.
Do you do material on phone ones?
Oh, on phone, I can't.
It was
do
a phone one. It was
I
a
almost
phone one.
bomb either way on phoners. It took me, like, you know, we've all been in the business forever.
So how do you make it work on a phoner? That's where you call in at 5 in the morning.
Usually don't. It
You're
doesn't
very.
go
You
well
have
for
to.
me.
What I can't do is be phony on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's hard.
because
I could hear myself being phony.
yeah.
At least, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, and I'm like being nice, and I'm not really nice. So
Yes.
for me to pretend to be nice and
horrible.
hey, I'm not one of those. Hey, great
I know.
job.
Yeah.
I'm not. I never
You're
said.
honest you're very honest about the mood you're in.
Right.
Whatever.
I
You're
never
gonna say it.
I never say good job to my kids. I never do that. I just get good job.
Carrie,
great
maybe
job.
you need to do that. to
I
your kids.
say you missed the ball. The next time you're gonna hit the ball, right? Right. Okay.
You're a Chinese
so
mother.
when I'm on the phone doing the 7 a.m., first of all, I'm exhausted. I'm tired.
Yeah.
So I can't
no
really
sleep. It's terrible.
And then it's like, so Carrie, we hear you're you have a child, and I'm like, ugh.
I know.
Yeah.
Because they
Can't
don't really
do it.
care. And also, a lot of those morning shows are like, and if it's like two of them, hey, it's Bob and it's Susan and we're here.
Buzz and
hey,
Biz.
Who's this?
Wait,
We got Fatty Rosmer on the phone. I'm like, hey, and you feel like you have to like
Yes,
match their
and I
energy.
can't
You're like,
do that.
hey, how you doing, guys? And they're like, so you're gonna be at so yeah, come on out, it'll be fun. And I'm like, why am I
That
acting
would
like a
be
mental
funny
patient?
if you
Right.
go, hey, it's Carrie, do it.
Hey, it's Carrie Evans here. She's gonna be at the Coconuts this Saturday.
Hi. Yeah.
It's like 4:45 a.m.
No, I'm tired.
It's horrible. We're all tired.
Went to bed
I
at
just-
2:45.
I just smoked pot.
I want to know what other drugs you take. What are your drugs? I want to know because I feel like I need drugs. I'm not kidding.
I just told you I take Adderall.
Adderall. That's it.
I take antidepressants too.
Well, well, you-
Celexa.
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 I know, huh?
Wait
I've
a
been
minute.
I've been on that for about 8 to 9 years.
Usually you have to switch off after you've been on something for a while.
I never switched, never changed. I
Celexa,
changed the
write it
milligrams about a year
You have
ago.
to up it, right?
I upped it 10 more. I was on the lowest you could get it, and I swore it worked.
Look at her writing it down. She's
I
gonna
am
go
right.
And
Listen.
then I upped it by 10, and I'm definitely happier,
Yeah.
but can't write a joke to save my life. Like, there's just nothing
What does
pissing
that
me
mean?
off.
Oh.
Right.
A lot of jokes come from, oh God, even
Yeah.
like today was one of the first times in a while. Like I was at Starbucks, and I was like, I always go to the Starbucks around the block from my house.
Starbucks is
Thank
good
God
for
it's
writing.
there.
Yeah.
That's my office. Like I just
Oh.
leave my house, go to the Starbucks,
Yeah.
and just go. and I swear to God, there's a guy across from me doing some deal with somebody on the phone. Full, like, cranked volume, just yelling, like, you got to be kidding me, Steve. I mean, we got to. I mean,
Are you sure it wasn't George Gallo?
You know what? This is bad ADD. I videoed it, but I
You
never
did.
posted it because I forgot. I have it on
You
my
have to
phone.
post Oh, that's
so
this
funny.
guy. I wonder if I could
So
play
annoying.
it into
If
the
you
microphone.
post it, if
You
you
can play
post it,
You
post
got to
it.
hear this guy.
Oh, I got to hear it because
Play it into
you
the
know
mic
what?
right there.
I hate those people.
Oh, by the way, we're here with Adam.
But you know what, George?
Thanks,
I want to say.
Sorry, I forgot
one
to say
thing-
Adam's here.
One thing that George Gallo does when
Yeah.
he finds people like that,
Yeah.
he'll
What's
get
he
on
do?
his phone and stand right next to them and go,
That's what I do.
"What? What do you mean?" And he'll like,
Oh,
start
yeah,
he does
and
it
then,
too?
no,
Yeah.
he does it back to them, and then
That's
they move
hilarious.
away, and he moves closer to them, and like he almost gets into fight. He's like, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" He's like, "Nothing, I'm on the phone."
Is this the guy? Oh, my God.
Ugly I look.
No.
Look how ugly.
I didn't even know that was you.
Wait,
Okay, you got to show it to the
where do I
camera.
play it?
Hold on, right here into the
Into the
microphone,
mic.
Which mic? That
This
mic?
one.
and turn it and
All
face
right.
it to the
Look
camera.
how bad I am with this shit. I'm trying
You're
to like.
fine. You're fine.
I'm trying to rewind it. Okay, play it into here, and that's the speaker. right
Yes.
below.
Yes. All right. And
At Starbucks right now.
Can you turn the
Some
camera?
guy is having
turn it that way.
a business conversation.
But get right in front of the
Where do you
camera.
want me to do it?
Right
Show
there.
it to your people?
Yes.
Why? I wanna-
You know what?
That's
Give it to
impossible to do.
Give
I
it to
haven't
him.
seen
Give
it
it
yet.
to him.
Oh, you want to play it?
Yeah.
I
Well,
want to
if
see
you want to
me.
see
All
it.
right, go to the guy doing
You
the.
can play it.
Go to the
You
guy.
play it on the microphone. Then.
Carrie's getting
It's that
impatient.
video.
Carrie's
It's
like,
that
just go-
video. Because I hope I got the guy.
Maybe
I
you did.
wanted
Maybe
them to
it's
see
just
the
you.
guy.
I'm at Starbucks right now. Some guy is having the wildest business conversation than I think I've ever heard in my life in a public place. Oh shit, he hung up. Oh, he was cranking it.
Did you get him?
That isn't the video where I got him. I think there's another one.
Oh, he hung
That's
up.
hilarious because I got him. Here it is. I was gonna say I knew it. Look at that face. What is that? Oh God, I
You're
turned them
sniffing
off.
your
Yeah, I'm
finger.
not hot. Look at
Yeah,
that.
are you sniffing your finger?
What the hell is that?
Okay, don't go by these
Let's hear
pictures
it.
of whether he's hot or not.
I'm at Starbucks right
Oh,
now.
I redid
This
it.
guy is having the wildest business conversation I've ever heard. See if I can get him on video and put him on. Okay? I'm him right now. I'll show you.
They can't.
Here?
I hear him, but very low.
Why is it weird?
Yeah,
looking?
you can see him because I filmed him.
I hate those people.
I filmed him like this so you could see it. Like, I was pretending I was talking, but I was looking at him. I'm always afraid. I don't know how
I know.
these
You know
comedians.
what? George Gallo has no fear.
Can you get sued? I'm always like,
No.
how are you allowed to just video someone and put them on your Twitter feed?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think
I
there's
d-
anything they can do about it.
I don't think there is either. But
I want to.
That is a scary.
I wanna
Gallo
see
got
his-
fired for doing that.
Yeah, he did get
Fired from where?
Fired from his job because
Because he did an Asians like to wear stripes. So Gallo goes, it's the Asian stripe invasion. And he goes up to Asians and he films them. So these two girls found him. I don't know how they found him on his Facebook, but
yeah, and he got fired for it. He lost his
There it
job,
is.
and it was a good paying job.
that's my
Oh,
The
yeah,
husband.
there's
guy
the
was
guy.
really funny looking too. Like
Yeah,
that's
he's
what
weird
made-
looking.
He was really. Who's that comedian that's like? Yeah, he looks like Larry Wilmore. Who's the comedian who's an albino?
Oh, Victor Vernay.
He looks
Oh,
like
I don't
Victor.
know the. Do you
Victor
know an
Veneto.
albino
I
comic?
do not know an albino.
He is.
Black albino.
Oh, yes, I know who he is now.
Uh,
I know who he is.
I think I hate when people do that. I was at a museum. You're at a fucking museum, and they're like, "Yeah." It's like,
But this guy was like, he was like fully negotiating a deal. Like out loud. I'm like, anyone else would have walked
yeah,
outside
why
to do
don't
it.
they know that?
I'm like, you're in the middle. You
Have
got the
you
best
noticed?
seat in
Have
Starbucks.
you noticed that the older you get, the less patience you have for people?
Yes.
But that's what I was trying to explain to you is on the antidepressants.
Yeah.
Like you can even see
That
it.
doesn't bother
I'm
you.
not
Doesn't
even
bother.
close to being bothered. Like I would have really wanted to like physically beat the fuck out of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
guy. Like, and that's funnier, even though it's
Yeah, yeah.
scary. It gets you divorced in a marriage.
Yes.
Like I always, I know for a fact, and I said it to my wife. I said something today about it because I had to watch the kids today from like 1 to 5, right? Because there's no
That's a long time.
there's no school in right now. So my wife's like, we got the babies. We'll get a babysitter from 8 a.m. to 1. You can go to Starbucks at 8 a.m. and work all the way to 1, and then you watch the kids, but don't do. She goes, I don't want you to do any work while you're watching the kids. Like, actually, because when I do, they just watch TV for 5 straight hours, or my son will play video games for like 5 hours straight, right?
Oh, really? They don't need you? They're not coming up to you going,
No, they don't need you
No,
at all.
they'll just go. They're 9 and 5 years old.
That's my son. He'll
Oh,
sit
no,
on
my
that
kids
thing
would be
for
like,
hours.
come play Barbies with me.
And
or
it's
something.
on my computer, so I can't get work
And you
done
get
because he's on it.
viruses.
I haven't had that happen yet.
Oh my God! I got
Really?
the most vicious viruses.
From
oh
your
my
son?
God. From Roadblocks. This
That's
fucking
what my
game.
son plays, Roblox.
Okay,
I can't
well,
stand
you're
it.
gonna have a
Roblox.
virus.
He goes, it doesn't work on my iPad. I'm like, why did we get you an
Because
iPad
it wants
then?
to eat your fucking computer. That's why.
And my computer's like, the fan's going full speed when he gives it back to me. I'm like, I've never heard the fan running on my computer. That thing must be burning it.
It
It's
is.
He's like,
horrible.
I'm playing with my friend that lives around the block. I'm like, why?
Now I notice I have no patience because I'll give you, and I can't keep it in because I'm menopausal too.
That's okay.
I'm online at Sears. Sears is going out of business, so everybody's there. There's 2 tellers. This one guy, this Indian guy, wearing those flip
yeah,
what are-
sliders.
sliders and socks.
Yeah,
and
that's
shorts.
it, yeah.
Something I don't want to fucking look
Yeah,
at.
that's what they wear.
I've had
Indian
a
guy
lot
and
of
his
people make
wife.
fun of me. I tried to wear that a couple times. People shit on me.
Let me
on
tell you
Twitter.
something. That is not a good
Girls
look.
hate
It might not be
It's so comfortable.
Why would you
But
wear a
on-
sandal with a slider?
All
But
the kids wear it,
But
and it
hold
looks
on
great.
a second. On
You ever see
him,
kids? They wear the shorts and the socks and
Black
the sliders.
guys, black
no, my
kids.
son
but
does it
on
all the
him,
time.
it's probably cute on him.
No,
Okay, on
I've
a
had
big
a lot
fat
of people
Indian
make fun
guy,
of me.
it was not cute. So he's there with a shopping cart, which I don't even know where he got the fucking shopping cart from because Sears doesn't have shopping carts. So he's got a full shopping cart and he's got 900 items in it. So I'm waiting and it's 45 minutes. I am not lying. Finally, I lost it. I go, let's go! Let's go! And they were like, the whole line was just like, thank God. And I go, do me a favor. Get your fucking shopping cart and move on. I go, because you're not buying anything. You're doing price checks. This is bullshit. Let's go. Get out of here, buddy. Come back tomorrow.
You know that this is true,
And
too, right?
oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
God, my kids weren't with me. Otherwise, my daughter
my
would have been like, Mom, stop,
I
Mom,
know.
stop.
That's a-
Because I have road rage too. So all of a sudden, I go to the guy. I go, tell him that he's done. Because if I have to come over there, he's going to really be done. Him and his wife, let's move it. And the whole line was like, thank God. And all of a sudden he goes, okay, one more. I go, no more. No more. No more, because you didn't buy one thing. Everything he had a problem with, then he would put to the side. So the guy was like, sir, I have a I go, there's other people here, you inconsiderate fuck.
I always tell people off. Always on the line. Always when they're taken up. And my daughter would be so... There was a point where she just fucking hated me through middle
I
school.
bet there's people laughing, though.
No,
'Cause that's not,
people
it's
would
funny,
be so...
right?
It
It's
is-
funny
I'm
on
sure-
stage,
I'm
not
sure
in
the
real
young-
life,
Not
right?
in real life.
But let me tell you.
There was a guy who at the Home Depot, and he like cut in, and I'm like, "Hey man, do you mind? I'm here first. You're cutting in, back of the line, like that." And
I'd be
daughter,
laughing.
his daughter goes, she's like, he was very old, but I don't know, it just pissed me off for some reason. And the daughter goes, "My father is blind, and he was in the line before and had to get something, and he came back, and now all these people are looking
Hate
at me.
you.
I feel like the most horrible.
What?
I'm like, oh, okay, oh, sorry, okay, but I feel like a complete asshole.
You know,
because
it
I get
bothers.
angry first.
Yeah, I get it. Like sometimes I'll be standing online and there'll be a guy or somebody in front of me that I'll just want to haul off and punch in the back of the head because I automatically sized them up and hated them. And usually when they go and they speak, I'm like, I knew it. I knew I hated him just by sizing him up. I want to bash his back of the fucking
But don't
head
you
in.
think that emotion is what makes you pull a notebook out and write? Like when that happens,
Yes.
how
Yes.
often in a comedian's day does that happen? And then you go, I got to write that, and then you have a bit now.
That's
right?
true.
Does
It's
that
whenever you
happen?
get angry. That's true.
Yeah, so imagine that being gone. So like that's why like my first comedy special was called Medicated because I had to figure out how to. I'm like I can't talk about regular shit
Yeah.
because I'm not mad about anything anymore.
Right.
So I have to talk about my medication and how it's affecting this
Wait,
part of my marriage
Something
and
gets
this.
you angry now. Something gets you angry.
Well, now that it got upped by 10 more milligrams.
You must have fights with your wife.
We have fights, but it's not like even close to what our fights used to be.
No, because he's like stunned.
You know what's weird?
You just take it. I don't ever get mad at
Punch
somebody in
drunk.
the audience anymore. They can
You
heckle.
don't? Oh,
I
I
used
get
to have such
I
a
need
short
to have
fuse.
that medication.
I get angry and then it ruins the set. If I
too.
get angry at a heckler, it's like I just had that happen. I can't remember.
My
how it
kids
went
get
down.
me so angry. Like one time, my daughter kicked my son in the nuts, and
On
he
purpose?
Yes. And now I don't have nuts,
Yeah,
so
my
I
daughter
don't,
always does that to
I-
my son.
I don't know how that feels. but
girls
he
do.
he was crying so hard that
Oh,
I
it's
knew it must have hurt
terrible.
really bad. So all of a sudden, I go to her, "Are you kidding me?" Like I lost it.
I-
And all of a sudden, I grabbed her WWF championship belt that it took us like a year to find,
Oh,
and
no.
it was like $70. And I
Oh,
went
no.
like this. I went, "Kush!" And I
broke it?
I broke it in
Yes.
half, and it
Carrie.
sliced my
It
whole
cut
hand.
you?
I'm bleeding, and I go, "That's what I'm gonna do to your belt if you ever touch your brother again." And the kid was like this.
I know. So
I was gonna say, but
I would get that angry too.
I think it's that you're saying that it's making me know that I'm not as good of a parent because I don't get angry. So they can, like, they play video games. Like my wife loses her shit on them when they're playing too long. I'll just let them fucking go. Like they get away with everything because I don't.
But maybe
I don't
that's
have.
good. I feel like
I'm
so
happier, but
tense around my kids all the time.
No,
and my
it's not
anger.
good though, because
sorry.
then they're gonna walk all over
My-
you when he's not
It's
on the
not good
medication.
for them.
And
My-
they're gonna be like, "Who are you?"
yeah, they
If
don't.
you ever come off of it, they're gonna be like, "Who are you?"
Well, they've seen me a few times lose my shit, even when I was on it,
Yeah.
and I felt so bad at. Like
I
one
used
time,
to.
Terrible,
one time I
always.
lost it on my wife so bad with just my daughter in the back.
What do
This
you mean
was
in the back?
In the back of the car. She's
Oh,
in the
oh.
car seat, and my wife just said something, and you'll get the stop the fucking. I lost it, which it was almost like I was enjoying that anger again because it was like seeing an old friend that you haven't seen. You're like, oh yes, you're still there. That could be a bit on stage. See, I just realized it. But
you go.
I grabbed the door when I got out. I've never slammed a door this hard in my life. I thought it was gonna come off the car. I was like, you fuck you, and just walk. I go fucking leave, and I walked 3 miles.
That's
home.
amazing.
And it was cold out.
My father used to do that. When we go on vacation,
Yeah.
my dad would fucking freak
I
out
did.
in the car. And we'd be like fighting in the back. You're over my space. You're on my side. We'd be punching him. And I just remember this one time he goes, I can't take it anymore. He starts sobbing.
Yeah.
Like not just
See, and
angry.
you still remember it.
fucking
See, that's why I
crying.
don't want that.
It was so disturbing.
Traumatizing.
It's a
He
scar.
pulled over to the side of the road. My mother's in the car. We're all sitting there. We're like, where did Dad go? And Mom goes, look what you did. Look what you did to your father.
Yeah.
He's off. He goes for like,
That's the 70s. That's what parents did. They would blame you.
She blamed us. We're sitting, my sister and I were in the back like, it's like, oh my God. And then an hour later, 45 minutes later, he comes back, he goes, okay, girls, let's go. And didn't say anything else. Like it never happened. It's the Irish way. You never discuss the blow up thing that just
No,
happened.
and then you become a comedian. That's
And
the way
that-
it works.
Well, I
But-
gotta tell you, my husband does not have that anger.
Well, no, opposites
mine
attract.
doesn't
Neither
either.
does my wife or anyone in her whole family.
He will never go off the deep end unless someone goes to touch me or bother me. I've seen him beat the shit out of guys.
No, are you serious?
For what?
For
One-
touching you?
No,
How?
no. One night,
He's really calm, but he beats the fuck out
No,
of people.
we can
He's
fight.
great.
I can
That doesn't
break.
sound like he's
I
calm.
can take the TV off the wall and smash it in a million pieces. That's how my anger is bad.
Yes,
Right.
me too.
So
too.
he'll
Well,
just
the old
he'll
me.
just stand there and he'll be like, "Great, great, great." He doesn't have the anger I have.
Right.
So one night we're in the village and this guy, homeless guy, comes in and he's fucking with my father, and my father handled these guys like nothing.
He's a pro.
He was a pro.
Yeah,
He's
he-
like, "Come on, you're out. Get out." He's pushing him with his chest. He's like, "You gotta go, man." So the guy spit in my father's face.
Oh no.
I was
Yeah.
with Sam, and Sam
Oh my God.
flipped. Now my father could handle it, right? So
Right.
all of a sudden he flips over the table.
Sam does.
Yeah, grabs this guy, starts beating the shit out of him, takes him outside and whales him into a car, dents the whole car up, and starts beating the shit out of him.
Didn't you fall in love with him then? Is that when you fell in love with him?
Where did that come from?
I would have loved
I was
it,
like,
though.
where the fuck did that come from?
You're like, wow, this
And
guy's
then
really well rounded.
he lets the guy go. My father stops him. He goes, I gotta go. It's all right. And he comes back in. I go, you happy? You just beat the shit out of a heroin addict? Are you happy? My grandmother could have beat him. Are you serious right now?
That's
You
great
beat
that
up
you
a
did that.
helpless guy who was.
He spit in your
goes,
father's face.
He
He
spit
should
in
have done
your
it.
father's face. So that was one time.
That's funny.
That was like when we were dating. And then the next time something happened, I was pregnant, and his brother said something to me nasty, and he.
His brother?
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. I don't remember what happened, how it happened, or whatever. I don't think he said it to me. I think he said it to him. And he flipped out on his brother, and I was like,
My God, scary.
he's got.
It's in him.
Here's what happened. He grew up in
He's
Jamaica. Yes.
Yeah,
He
Greek.
grew-
I never met a Greek guy that didn't have that in him.
But-
Italians and Greeks have
I had
that
a Greek
in 'em.
cook throw a knife at me because I didn't pick the. He goes, "What am I going to you?"
How
And
many
I
malakas
And he
came
fucking
out?
took a knife
I
as
love
I'm
the
walking out with the
malakas.
food, and it hit the door, and I was like, "Ooh!" And then I went home because I didn't want to get killed. Okay,
Well,
go.
he grew up in Jamaica, Queens, and he was the minority. The whites were the minority,
Sure.
so they would get beat up. They'd have to run home all the
Oh,
time,
shit.
and he was always fighting for his life.
Right.
So he's not afraid of anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
right,
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Oh, my
that's
God.
where he got that
Well,
from.
here's my question for you guys, because you guys, we just, I now feel like I'm interviewing you guys. It's
Go
hilarious.
ahead.
But you guys said earlier, like, you can't be fake, blah, 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 blah. And what I thought of when you were saying that
Well, I can be fake. I've been fake.
is that I can't be, maybe to a higher level than you guys, because there's certain clubs, and I won't say which ones, even though I've said them on my podcast before, that
say 'em.
there's a game involved at that club,
Oh.
and I can't do it,
Yeah.
and I think they sense that I can't do
Yeah.
it, and it makes me not liked.
Yes.
I'm like, they know that I can't hug you because everybody. I can't do it. I'm like,
You can't kiss
no.
up to them.
If I really like you, I can easily do it. I'll
Yeah,
kiss
yeah.
you right on the mouth if I really like you. But if I think
Really?
you're,
Adam.
if
I was trying to kiss
I mean
Adam.
a girl. Oh, okay.
He's
But,
not
like,
a big kissy, huggy person.
But if you're
Does
like,
your wife know about that?
yeah. But like, I can't play the game, and it's like
yeah, I know. It's
I
annoying.
don't know.
Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Is it really worth it
But
for you to
then-
get on there? Who cares?
That's what I hope, but sometimes it's like the best place to be on, and you
Oh, the
can't
cellar?
work there. Maybe
Yeah.
I know.
No, and you
I
have
used
to
to
keep-
work there though.
You
and I
have to
used
go
work
in,
there
you
a
have to
lot,
ha-
but
so did I.
Carrie, I think, got me in there when I
Yeah.
first got in.
I got a lot of people in there.
Yeah, you should get me in there again. Yeah.
Well, I'm
They
getting
hate
back
me.
in as soon as I
Yeah, no.
sell Jarvalicious. I'm getting back in there, and then I will try to get.
I tried to
everybody
get back in.
but
I'll
I got
get back
Lisa. I got Lisa Lampanelli in there.
They,
Do you think she'd reciprocate with a couple of $1,000? She's making $25,000 a show.
I think if I was fine with working Sunday nights at 11, I could still work there. But I just gave it up. 'cause I was
Also,
just
she
like,
knows
no.
you have
Where do you
kids.
live?
That's the thing. She always
I
says, "Oh, you
felt
have
there was
kids."
something against that.
She
I
said
really
that to me.
did.
She goes, "You have kids. You're not going to want to go on at 2 in the morning, and that's when I would be putting
Yeah.
you on." I go, "No, put me on at 2. I want to go on at 2."
Yeah.
But
What? How
didn't
many?
happen.
Where do you live in Jersey?
No, I live in New Rochelle, like Westchester, New York.
Oh,
That's
that's
close.
nice.
Thank you.
yeah, you
That is
just, that's
nice.
your new house, right?
It is.
Been there for about 3 years.
I'm going to stay around New York for another 5 years.
And then
And then
Nothing
what?
happens in 5 years. I'm going to be mayor of some fucking down south backward ass motherfucking town.
you're gonna do the North
And I'm gonna end
Carolina
up
move.
being- yeah, I'm going to do that North
I've
Carolina.
thought of that.
I'm gonna.
Why?
For what reason
'Cause
should
it's
I
so
stay
cheap
here?
down
Oh,
there.
I see.
Well, your taxes are $2,000.
Oh,
for
yeah.
your
For,
house.
yeah, you're
You
like.
have a mansion.
Yeah.
I could never move away from my kids, though. That's the problem. I'm stuck here.
Well, my
because
kids are little, so I could.
You
They'll
could
have no
bring 'em.
choice. They
You
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to switch their school on
I
them
would-
and make them not.
You know their
new
colleges,
friends?
Duke University, they can go for $10,000 a year.
Really?
They don't tax your pension. Not that you have one.
You have to get in though. You know how hard Duke is to get in.
Well, I'm just saying. I have
Yeah.
smart children. and
I'm the same way. My wife works at Columbia.
I love that your wife
she's
is so
got a
smart.
pension.
PhD,
if
your
our,
wife,
my
right?
wife has a PhD. If
brilliant.
our kids are smart enough to get in Columbia,
They go for free.
free. Not
Let's
only
hope
free,
that Jean-
and then anywhere else they want to go, we get 50%.
Well, let's just
50.
hope the gene pool went to them from her.
Some of it did, but some of it didn't. I feel bad
God.
sometimes.
But you're
that they
smart.
got-
You're smart in your way.
But I have that attention thing that affects. Like my son's definitely has the attention situation.
None of my kids have my attention deficit.
My kids are just like
No,
me.
my son's amazing at math. Like he got tested because we wanted to see like where we should be
Genius.
at, meds,
Yeah.
no meds,
Right.
and like just off the charts with math. And then the other suffers with the ADD. He has that where writing and reading. Like, he doesn't do terrible.
Yeah.
Because my wife's so fucking smart and I'm probably so stupid. But I'm not stupid.
No, you're not. But I know what you. Yeah, I
Do
know.
that joke your brother said. What's the joke when your brother said when you're when you're looking at the newspaper and
true
you're taking
story.
down notes because when you first met your wife,
Yes.
she was like super
How do you
smart.
remember that?
I was listening to your podcast. I hadn't
Did I
listened
say
to your,
it on the podcast?
You said it on the podcast. It was so. This story is so funny.
I didn't do a bit on my podcast.
No,
I
you were
probably
just
said,
telling
hey,
the
a
sto-
joke I did once was...
Yeah. What is it?
It was just a true story. When I first started dating her,
Yeah.
I really was intimidated, and this is something my wife gets pissed when I bring up, but it's true, and it's great for podcasts,
Maybe
not
she's
on
not
stage.
listening
She'll
to
want to
this
fuck.
one.
She'll kill me. But I used to, she really was like, I don't know where she got this idea. She's like, how about you go read about things that I'm interested in, and then you give me a couple things that you're interested in, and I'll go learn about that, and then that's what we'll talk about at dinner. This is before we had kids, so it's just
She's
her
like,
and I at
can't.
a table.
The dinner conversation sucks. I got to get this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was trying to
Homework.
up the dinner
Homework
conversation.
So
assignment.
go ahead.
Because I used to talk about me the whole fucking time. I'd be like, and then I wrote this. How about this joke?
That's how I am.
Yeah,
All
that's-
I do is talk about me.
That's what we do.
So funny.
So I was highlighting something in a newspaper, and my brother saw me, and he goes, "What are you fucking doing?"
Conversation.
And I go, "Oh, it's because for the conversations later, And I told him the truth, and my brother's funnier than me and meaner than me. Oh, he goes, dude, you can't quit dumb cold turkey. That's what he said. Stop fucking highlighting it. And I go, can I say that on stage? He used to get mad because he would say shit in real life that I would end up saying.
Use it.
Yeah, you would steal.
And I
you
go,
kidding?
dude, he used to go, hey, I was working on this bit. And I used to go, dude, why? You're not a comedian. What do you mean you were working on a bit? What does this even
Why
mean?
can't he work on it for you?
Yeah, have
So
him
he
write
would
for
get
you.
mad when I would do them. I'm like, dude, if you start doing comedy,
I
I
won't
won't
do
say
it
the
anymore.
shit you say, but you fucking sell insurance. Shut up. You say
Oh my
funny
God,
shit every
that's
once
so
in a
Help
while.
you, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
You have a lot of albums, though, right? I mean, how much do you need people to help you write? Don't you have a lot of CDs
I
out?
have like 4 albums.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
nice.
God, that's a
specials.
lot of material.
That's a lot. How many hours of material is that?
Well, one of them is me before meds just going off when I'm losing my shit. Full on arguments. I made an album out of it.
Oh, you did?
And I narrated.
What's
I'll
that?
be like, hey, the
Oh, I
light
like
just
Was
went
there
on.
no light before?
Just get dark.
I didn't realize you could put it on while you're.
Oh, that's.
Well, what does
thanks
that look
now.
like? It's making me. I
No,
need a
it's
fucking
not me.
sunglasses.
It's make you could see us now.
Oh my God, I don't like it.
You got to ignore it. Come on, it's
Oh,
like a
God.
stage
Turn
light.
it off.
He's
It's
giving us
hard.
the
He just
light.
gave us the 5
He
minute
gave
light.
us the
We need
light.
to wrap this podcast up.
But your wife is like she's like the normal one, right? Like she's calm. You know.
Well,
so
now
you-
that I've been married 12 years, she's like, maybe because I'm on a high amount of medication, I would say I'm calmer than her now. She's
you
on
are?
meds now too, which is fucking hilarious.
What?
That I used to say.
she
that
put-
was a joke I wanted to do on stage that I knew only like maybe a comedian would laugh at it.
Why?
I wanted to say something like, I've been on these meds because she told me to be on them because a lot of my material is about all the changing she wanted me to do in myself and how that she just wouldn't change anything about her when I.
Isn't
but
that
I
always
got-
the case?
Yeah.
with
I like
women?
that you went along with her though when you did change.
Most men do.
Well, I say when you make $200,000 a year, and I want to
Gotta-
finish basement. That's all I really give a shit about. I go, I don't care. I'll
She has the
fucking-
upper hand.
Why would you not go with it? I'm like, all right, yes. Like there was no fight whatsoever. Now you're messing me up. I'm trying to think of the
Oh,
joke.
I'm sorry.
What was I talking
See,
about?
that
That
ADD.
medication
See,
is
now I'm
not
doing
working.
that thing we do with the
Medication.
crowd.
That
Okay,
medication's not working.
Oh, I said the joke that was something like, what if I never needed the meds? What if she was just a cunt?
Oh,
Like that was the joke. But I knew audiences would be like, oh!
Oh, he said the
Like
C
they would
word.
never let you go there.
I tried a cunt joke and it didn't work. They just would always like go, I don't know, but
I
as
have a joke about cunt that works now.
What is it?
It's just about it was in my last special. It hasn't come out yet, but it's about if you put a Y at the end of it, how much
Oh.
it softens.
Oh, yeah, it
It's
does.
Unbelievable.
That's
I go,
true.
you can look her right in the face and go, "Why are you being cunty?" She'll giggle.
Right, but
Oh, yeah,
even
that's
if
true.
you put a British accent to it.
Conti. That's funny, too. She just gave me a tag. I remember that about you. You always had good tags.
I'm good.
She's got good, tags.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's got
it's
ADD,
British.
but she really listens at the same time.
I do have very bad ADD that my kids
But
even
you
pointed
listen.
out. They go. My daughter will say, my son will say something, and my daughter will go, she's not even listening. I know when she's not
Carrie
listening.
doesn't
her
listen,
eyes-
that's true.
Right, her eyes are staring off into space. I'm like, I'm listening. What did he say? I'm like, something. I'm not going to tell you.
See, it's weird. I have ADD, but but Kevin does not listen to me because he'll just go. And you know how I know? Because
Who's
I'll be
Kevin?
talking.
Are you dating Kevin
my
now?
fiance. I've been engaged for
15
15
years.
years.
Is
So-
that Kevin who?
Kevin Powers. He's my
He's
fiance.
not a
I thought
comic.
we were
He's
saying
not a
Kevin
comic.
Brennan. I was
He's
like, what's going
no,
on? I didn't know about
He's
this.
an IT guy, so it's always about me. Like me, talk, me,
Right.
me. And I always forget to ask him about him. You know, like I'll be, and then me and me. And he's like at the computer, and he just goes like this. And I go me. And then I get to the question part where I ask him something or whatever. And then there's just dead silence, and you see him look up, and he goes, "Oh, he goes, yeah."
He wasn't
Yeah.
listening.
I go, "What do you mean, yeah?" And he goes, "Oh, wait, what?" And I go, "You fucking aren't listening to me for like 20 minutes." Like I just go off and off about myself.
No, it's
That's
true.
not as bad as your wife. My
No.
wife, go ahead.
We
Carrie.
we talk about ourselves, but
Remind me.
the other day my husband goes to me, whatever, he's having some shoulder surgery.
Uh-huh.
So I totally forgot that he even went to the doctor, whatever. So I'm talking about things,
You didn't
talking
ask
about things,
him?
talking about things. And at the end of the night, it was like 11 o'clock. I was going up to bed. He goes, "Oh, and by the way,
That's terrible.
I went to the doctor today, and I'm going to need surgery if you give a shit." I was like, oh. I really don't give a
Don't you
shit.
think it probably is more acceptable and works better? You might disagree. When the girl
Yes,
is the one
is the
that's
one
a
who
bad
talks-
listener and
yes.
talks nonstop.
Yes.
Because that's kind of the stereotype that
Girls
everybody
are chatty.
has.
Girls are chatty.
Yeah, so I'm in the reverse.
Yes.
You're the
So,
girl.
Like, yeah, and that this is something, and I'm curious what your advice would be about this.
We're good with advice.
Because I just went on vacation with my wife's whole family. We've been doing this probably 10 years now, every summer, 2 weeks, her whole family.
2 weeks.
Yeah, so listen to the situation.
That's not a good idea.
Yeah, I
No,
couldn't.
I know- I know-
couldn't be with him for 2 weeks.
I know.
I can't be with my own family for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
But go on.
So we've been doing it, and we're 0 for 10. Like, I always think as soon as we leave that vacation, I'm like, are we getting divorced? Like that, you know that
Oh,
feeling
really?
where you're like, is
You
this
hate
about
each
to
other's
end?
guts, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like it's so bad. Like there wasn't arguing. There's just such a disconnection.
Well-
There's so much hate going on in your head. You're like, I'm with the wrong person.
I
Like
hate
I'm
the
just
brother,
going, I'm with
I
the.
hate
No,
the-
I'm just going. I'm with the wrong person.
But what about the
And
drugs?
I know she's
the
thinking
drugs
that.
don't help you like
You can't
her more?
double up those 2
No,
weeks.
I'm not angry at her for thinking. I'm just going. Maybe
I made
this
the
isn't
wrong
right.
choice.
No, I don't know. But I'm not angry. I'm just like, so you got to hear the situation here.
This is her family?
We got to yes.
Yes!
And here, just listen to it.
This
So
is
it's my
hilarious.
wife and myself.
Yes.
We have 2 kids, 9 and 5.
Yes.
Her sister, who's the middle sister,
Yes.
has
Jan Brady.
she has a newborn, Jan Brady, right? She was the middle. She has a 3-month-old and a 5-year-old daughter that's the same age as my daughter.
Okay.
And she's that girl that my daughter is the leader in that friendship, and their mom would say that too. And this girl cries at those people, like she's just that. Everyone has that person, that kid in their family that's like, like
Yeah.
I want it. It's just she's always like mad and crying at my daughter. They fight about 5 times a day, and and this girl has the
horrible.
loudest cry.
Screech.
She's the sweetest girl. Like I should get an award for this. But I got no fucking love for I thought this was great that I did it. My wife didn't give a shit.
I know, it's terrible because what
drove-
you find big, she doesn't.
Yeah, I drove her sister's daughter to Cape Cod, just me,
You and the
because
kid?
I went late to the trip.
See, I would never
I
trust.
brought the
I would never
sister.
trust you.
She goes, you can't. Her sister
you mean
goes,
you wouldn't
please
trust
don't
him?"
text while you're driving. This is very valuable cargo, my daughter. And not only did I not text while we were driving, her and I
Bonded.
fucking hit it off. Like,
Really?
She has a love for me, this daughter. Like, you have like
certain
nephews
yes,
that
yes.
maybe you can just tell that they
Yes.
just like you. We connect. I don't know why. And
But not with your kid. She doesn't like your kid.
She gets along with my daughter, but I'm saying they're so close because they live across the street. They see each other every day,
Oh.
and there's always something that she gets her feelings hurt
In
by.
real life, you live across the street
Yeah,
from each other?
yeah. She
Oh.
lives behind us.
So isn't it enough already? Can't you?
My
So
big
listen
fat
to this.
Greek
This
wedding.
isn't. You
Go
got to
on.
hear this.
Okay.
It really is going to make you laugh when you hear this situation.
Okay, all right.
So then she has a younger sister that comes on this trip too. That has a 6-year-old son and a 3-year-old son. They always have snot coming out of their nose, both of them. There's never not snot. Like, we make jokes.
They have
There's always
allergies.
snot. Allergies. There's just
Allergies.
always snot. And they always are picking it, rubbing it,
stop.
eating
Licking it.
licking it, doing all that shit. Cute kids, always snot running. Now, then her dad and mom are divorced.
Yeah.
Her dad is remarried. He's been married for 13 years to this woman who's my age. They rent
Wow.
they rent the house.
Is her father loaded?
No,
Wait, they're the ones
they're
who are renting
perfect
the
for
house?
each other.
Okay.
They rent the whole house and pay for the whole thing.
Oh.
So that's like why we're expected to suck it up,
That's right.
you know, because it's free, right?
Yes.
Now, you know how comedians are. We don't give a shit if it's free. Like, we're like, I don't give a fuck. For us, it means we're not working for 2 weeks if we go, and we're not like you guys taking the couple weeks off and still getting paid. No,
Yeah.
no, we just
You're
made
losing
half
money.
month's pay.
Yeah, you're losing money.
Yeah, so her dad and his new wife are there. They rent the house, and now her mom is in her third marriage. The second.
Wait, your wife's mom is
My
in her
wife's
third
mom's in
marriage.
her third marriage. The second marriage, the guy died. They
Oh.
were married for about 8 years. He was like a sweetheart. And now she's with this new Indian guy, right?
Do you like
This is
him?
hilarious. Yeah. I love this guy. He's
Really?
such a, like I can get emotional talking about because he's really sick right now. Like, he's had some heart
Oh,
problems.
no.
And it's like scary. He might only have 5 years to
How
live.
old? How old?
He's about
Could it be
68,
the mother
69.
poisoning them?
I know.
So-
That's always my thoughts.
This is how easygoing my wife's family is that you got the not
all them, they're all together.
they're all in the same they're in the same house. We're in the same
The
house.
wife, the ex-wife, the
ex
new
and-
wife,
yeah,
the new husband.
Same house. No
Wow.
problem with it.
This should be
they're fine.
cameras rolling.
Yeah. So this year was the first time probably in all the houses we got. For some reason every year we get a different house because they always miss the fucking mark on something.
Yeah.
And I always say, you're not using Joe Matarese for what he should be used for. Because I'm OCD and anal as shit. Like, you're not going to get a shitty house if you just let me pick it out. Like,
Right.
these fuckers got a house with no air conditioning this year.
Oh.
And I go, and I said to
I
them,
stay in a hotel. I can't do it.
yeah, I said, I don't care about heat because it's not hot in Cape Cod. It's,
Right.
It's almost, it's not an
It
island.
is hot, though, in
it's
Cape
cool
Cod.
there. It wasn't hot, especially this time. It was
Okay.
breezy, cool, like in the 50s at night.
All right, so it wasn't that bad. You could
It-
sleep.
But this wasn't because of the heat. What happens, and I even said it at the beginning when they were looking at houses, you pick a house with no AC, you're picking an old house because
Yeah,
the
with
new ones
smell.
have it, and it had it had that
that
smell.
wood nasty
Ah.
smell.
And I'm like, they had a dehumidifier in the whole
That
house
moldy
had that
smell.
smell
Mold.
of
Yeah,
humidity.
mold, that
So
mold
I
is-
cranked the dehumidifier on. It wasn't even doing anything. This was pretty classic because I'm OCD. I start trying. I'm like, all right, this house is a shithole. We all were agreeing that it was a shithole. It was bad. It was tight. It had like 6 floors, so there was like no. We usually get a house that has like a huge like kitchen, living room.
Yeah,
that
you had to go
you
up
can
and
all
down
hang in, and there's a deck that's big with a barbecue grill. This had nothing. Right? Didn't even have a garage to put your shit in. All our shit's outside getting rained on. I'm
Mountain bikes
miserable.
are getting
How was
rusty.
Mountain bikes are
vacation?
getting rusty. Exactly. They
Terrible.
could give a shit that their stuff's getting rusty. They think I'm crazy, right?
Yeah.
So now you get there,
I
but
start
wait-
mowing the back lawn.
But hold
at
on,
one
when you
point.
get there and you see all this, it
Yeah.
automatically twists you from day one.
Well, my wife hates that like I said, she hates the chatty. Now I'm on Adderall because she asked me to get focused. So I'm like, you want
Why do you have
focus?
to be focused? You're on vacation.
Well, yeah, well, maybe that's what I should have done is go no to ADD
Commando.
meds.
Yeah.
But then I'm a shitty dad because I'm hurting myself. Like I said, I get injuries, banging, dropping shit. Everyone's asking me a question. I'm like, what? I didn't hear anything.
Why can't you?
That's a turnoff for her
Why
too.
can't you go on your own fucking vacation?
Well, that's what I came to at the end of the vacation. We start talking. because we had another bad one, another shitty vacation.
Because you couldn't get past the house.
Dude, I couldn't get past the house. I start rearranging everything, but then she goes, I don't mind you rearranging it to try to make it like you want it, but shut the fuck up.
Who said that? Your wife?
Yeah, she's like,
you complain.
I'm like, well, you know what? I'm gonna go
yeah,
mow.
yeah,
I
yeah.
start mowing the lawn. I'm telling everybody I'm gonna mow the lawn. Then I made a movie theater out of one of the rooms because my brother-in-law brought this projector,
Oh, my
and I said
God.
I'll figure it out. I figured it all out. I went to Martha's Vineyard for the day with my wife and kids. I go, we're watching Jaws tonight. We just were at Martha's Vineyard. We got to watch Jaws. No one watched it with me.
So,
They were all in bed by 9:30.
that's your first
Yeah,
clue.
we're
I
all
love that
comedians, so
show.
we're up. I'm like, let's go. I'm on Adderall. I fucking alone watching Jaws.
That's what
drinking
happened
whiskey.
with
still wide awake.
With my fiance's family, we have to. It's every summer. We used to go every summer. But the thing is, his mother. The first time I went to stay with them, and I love Kevin's mother. I love his family. We go there, and
I'm gonna cut her off. We should have a radio show together. This should be this is a hit.
I know, exactly. I go to Kevin. He goes, "Oh, you'll come and meet my mother and meet it. It's the first time I'm meeting them. This is going on vacation with them." I go, "Hey, you think your mother's going to let us sleep together and everything?" He goes, "What, are you kidding me?" He goes, "I'm 45. Of course my mother's going to let us sleep together." And he goes, "There is going to be a priest there though, because she's super religious." I go, "What do you mean there's a priest?" He goes, "My mother travels with a priest." And the priest,
In case she
She
dies?
just brings one.
she brings the priest.
In case I die!
And so
Why?
That's
because she's
weird.
friends with. He comes over. He used to come over
She's
every
banging
Easter.
him.
No, she's not.
Stop it, Patty!
Every Easter, every
so
Christmas.
naive. She's banging.
So I hope his sister isn't listening to this podcast. So I go in and I go, "Oh, hi guys." I meet his brother for the first time. Blah blah blah. And his mother goes, "Oh, let me show you your room." And I go, "Oh, okay, Kevin." And Kevin was going out. He goes, "I'll go get the stuff." The mother brings me down. There's 3 single beds in the basement room.
In the basement?
In the basement. She
Ugh,
goes,
Mo.
"This is your bed. This is Maureen's bed. And this is the other girl's bed." I can't even remember her name. And I'm just like, I don't know what to say. Because I wanted to say, well, I'm sleeping
Kevin?
with
Kevin's above
is
ground.
Kevin going to be in this bed with us? So, what does he need?
I'm just telling him to shut this mic off.
Oh,
It's
okay.
live.
Oh, okay. Oh, he uses it. He uses it too. That
Oh,
is
you
very.
edit
I
that
like
out?
that. That's very OCD of him because he wants to make sure. But I go outside to him. I go as he's bringing the stuff in. I go, "You got to talk to your mother. She's not letting us sleep together, and I'm not going to sleep in a room with 2. I have terrible. I can't sleep with people I
Father
don't know."
O'Halloran is sleeping with Kevin.
Wait, here's the best part. So he's upstairs, the priest. He's got the bedroom with the with the big bedroom with the 2 beds because he gets that because he's the priest. So now we don't have a place for me. So Kevin goes to his mother and there's a big fight. He goes, "Patty and I are sleeping together," and now I'm standing there like I'm the asshole that told him we're not sleeping together. And his mother's like, "Well, the priest is in the house. Like, how are you going to sleep with her?" And she goes, "There's no bedrooms for you to sleep with, Patty." And then his brother goes, "You can have my bed and I'll sleep on the couch." So this whole thing had to be worked out. But, like, they weren't going to. I was 46 at the time. She wasn't going to let us fucking sleep. Like, we're not allowed to bang each other after we. So anyway, but every year we would go and. But I liked it because then we would get the basement. My 2 girls would be in the other room, me and Kevin, and I loved it. I could sleep late. But then she started getting this other house where we had to, when we went there, I go, "Kevin, what's the house like?" He goes, "Oh, it'll be fine. You'll like it." And he goes, "It's beautiful, right on the water." I don't care if it's on the water. What's the bedroom situation? We get there.
What's this?
It's a loft living room. So there are 4 mattresses on the loft above the living room area, which is open to
And
the
you're
kitchen.
a loud screamer
And
when
then-
you go at it.
Fucking isn't even on the table because my daughters were all sleeping in these 4 little cots that are next to each other on the thing. And Eddie is the one, he's got a bird, so the bird tweets all night long, and he's the boyfriend or whatever, and he goes to bed at 4 in the morning, and his girlfriend gets up at 5 in the morning. I literally was sleeping 1 hour each. I go, "Eddie, turn the TV off. I'm trying to sleep." He goes, "I can't sleep without the TV on. I got to have the TV on." I go, Eddie.
My
and I'm
wife
like,
made me stop doing that
I
like
love
week
that.
1 of
I
our
do
relationship.
That, though. I have to sleep with the TV.
So did I with my
I-
wife. Like I said, that's why it's better to be the girl comedian
I
in the relationship because you can still do your shit. She made me change fucking everything. I
No,
couldn't
my
have the
hus-
TV
that's
anymore in the
terrible.
room on.
well, I
You gotta
couldn't
get
fall
the
asleep with
headset.
somebody
She
else's
won't even,
TV.
dude. This is how crazy my wife is.
Yeah.
She won't let me. use my phone while she's laying next to me, even if I had it the darkness
What
all the way
size
down
bed?
on it.
Why
What
not?
size bed?
We have I want a king, but we have a
No,
queen.
we have a king, and it's not big enough.
Can't you roll over to the side and
She
do it?
won't allow. Dude, this is how my wife wouldn't let
She
me
sounds
once
more
watch
OCD than
Game
you.
6 of the World Series.
No.
With the sound off in a hotel room where the TV was like a good 50 feet away from the bed. She's like, you can't be in here and watch this.
Are pussy
I can't
whipped.
stand up.
Yeah, you
I
are
can't
pussy
sleep
whipped.
with the fun. Yeah, if she made $18,000 a year, I'd be fucking watching fucking the full volume surround sound. Go fuck yourself.
The one who makes the most.
We got medical insurance and $200,000 a year, and I live in a nice house
most
in New
money
Rochelle.
wins. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
that's the
The one
one.
with the cash is
Power.
the winner.
Well, because I'm so honest about my wife making more, like I have so many troll people that hit me up on.
What do they say?
Why don't you get your? Oh, did your wife give you an advance this week? Like, and
this
they
is
don't
it.
even. And that, wow, you live in the house because your wife makes so much. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck you! I got a development deal. I bought an apartment in Hoboken and sold it for fucking $400,000.
I like
made
that
a
you're-
fucking lot of money
I
on
like
it,
that
and
you're-
that's why we
Listen,
live
here-
in the house.
Let
Fighting
me tell
the
you something.
trolls.
Here's what I think.
Because
though.
I'm smart
Let's
with my
say-
money. She's terrible with her money. She
let's
doesn't know how to
say-
make money.
Let's say you get a show, you become really rich.
Yeah.
You got money.
You're gonna say
and now-
you're gonna do one of those Russ Maneve questions.
No, no.
He loves what ifs. You're out of the relationship.
No, you're not out of the relationship because you have two people that depend on you guys to be together.
Yeah.
You can't-
That's why I like Carrie.
You can't crumble their world no matter how much you hate her.
Good for
but
you.
you
We're
can
very
add
similar.
another fucking room on. So
Live in the basement.
what
I
you
like
do
it.
is you
That's not a
bang,
bad
you
idea.
bang,
See-
and then once you're done banging, goodbye. I'm going to my room. I'm watching my fucking TV as loud as I fucking want.
Well, here's what I need to say. This is what made me think of what Patty said, because it's like I don't know why I don't have this stuff in me when the argument's going on about the vacation.
Yeah.
When you said you're in the room that has the curtains where everybody can look in,
Yeah.
that's what we had to start. But it got even worse than that.
Yeah.
And every one of these vacations is so many different comedians. You're coming in and out, and you're just seeing comedians
would be
fucking
weird,
going
though.
in and out. Yeah, but he's great. I
He's
saw him for
great?
7 years, to the point where I hear his voice in my head now. I haven't gone for 6 years.
What's so great about him? What has he told you that's so great?
He's tough, and comedians
I
need
could do that.
He gives you that look, and he just says something, and he
Like
makes
what?
you. I don't know. He just he'll be like, "You want me to give you an
Yeah.
example?"
What did you learn from him? What by going
Well,
to
that
him?
there are ways to get with you what you want in life without fucking sweeping the leg and pissing somebody off. That
Oh.
you can come at it in this other way
Yeah.
that I never used to know how to do. And he gives you this one thing about going to therapy.
Yeah.
This is what worked for me is I can use that to, like. I can't say what I want, just say it to a person, but
Yeah.
I can say, I was in therapy, and
They
he thinks
say.
that. Yeah, he thinks, and then I go in, and I kind of agree. You're not having sex. You didn't get it's a fucking simple. Every guy in the world right now, every fucking guy. It's so simple.
What?
Fuck your guy or give him a blowjob,
Yeah.
and you have a better vacation.
You're absolutely
But you
right.
fucking don't. Not only do we not have sex on the vacation, you didn't have sex with me for a while before the vacation.
yeah,
You're extending it, and then we haven't had sex since we got back because you're mad at me.
You know what I've realized
You're
about
a
men?
fucking idiot. Like,
You know-
you're stupid. Like, he used to go, that's what the therapist would just all of a sudden go, when's the last time? He would just wait on me. I'd say all this shit that was going on. He'd be
When's the last time
when'd
you
you
had
have sex last? And I'm like, you motherfucker, he's got me again. Like, that's her one thing. She's got me on pills, doing this, doing that. And I'm like, you're not sexual. Like, I'm a fucking sexual. Comedians are usually I don't know if it's all comedians. You're either not sexual at all or you're very
That's
sexual.
true. Some of the comics are like asexual. You're like, what's their story? You know?
Yeah.
See, Rich Walker thinks I'm asexual, and I'm not asexual. I'm just
Tired.
menopausal and tired.
Right.
But I used to
Before
love sex.
menopause. Yeah, me too.
And if you're not
lot.
gonna want to have sex, which okay, fine, you're on the.
Well,
but
hand job.
I still
I'm,
do.
but
I
not
still-
even the sexual thing. It's like I'm not even feeling like
Affect-
be an attractive girl that's gonna come up to me
Yes.
and want to fuck me that night because I'm a challenge. I'm a fucking married. Why are you?
Girls always like
She
comics.
thinks I'm the greatest guy ever. And I'm like, it's like I did a joke that was so honest, like
What?
early on, and it is that if I got famous, you're gonna have to hire somebody to be my cock blocker. That he's on the payroll and his job is to
Right,
fuck
like
it
a
up.
hot Russ Maneve.
Yeah. Because but
Yeah,
it's
'cause
not
they're
even
gonna
like a
go
great
right
looking
to-
guy. The joke used to be that he's gonna just come over and go, "Hey, your wife and kids, how they doing?" You know, and I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah,
"Thanks,
yeah.
cock blocker," and he's like, "It's paid." Because can you imagine if you're famous, the level of
Oh, are you
girl
kidding?
that's coming up to you?
I always say to Kevin, because Kevin always wants to fuck, and he's only turned me down. In 15 years I've been with him, he literally turned me
I've
down.
never turned her down.
That's the thing. He's never turned me down. In 15 years, he's turned me down twice. Once he had an abscess in his whole mouth, out like this.
We could have
Well,
the
you
flu,
even wanna-
everything.
And then
You'd
once
wanna fuck that puss face?
Was this week, he turned me down because he was building a shed in the backyard, and he was so fucking exhausted. I'm like, hey, I got home. I'm like, okay, this is the night. Because usually I'm doing something. I'm here. I'm there. I'm exhausted. I'm like, this is it. And I just saw his face. He's like, oh, and I'm like, I can't believe you're fucking turning me down. But here's what I think about women and men and fucking. You gotta fuck them because guys really fucking want it
But-
and need it. And if you want, I can't tell you how happy.
But
he
here's
is the next
let me.
day
I gotta
after
cut
I
you
fuck
off,
him.
or I'm never gonna be
Okay,
able to
go
say
ahead,
my
go
real
ahead.
thought.
Go ahead, say your
Sorry,
real
I'm
thought.
cutting
Go
you
ahead.
off.
Go ahead.
But it comes back to what we said earlier, which is where we talked about faking it or not faking it. It's like I think my friend Paul Verzi has a bit about it. You
What?
can't just suck your husband's dick and that's going to make him happy. You actually have to want to. And like there's people that are givers in life and there's people that aren't. And this was a bit I never got out and I knew it was a dead on great observation. Like sometimes I'll have shit that's so fucking underneath what people realize that the crowd's uncomfortable. But when I get together with all my wife's
Relatives.
sisters' husbands, we
Oh.
have a talk, and then you start to realize, oh, they're all fucking like that. They're all leg sweepers, and I'm like, what is the
What's a
reason?
leg
They're-
sweeper?
I said to my wife, I go, don't you enjoy making somebody a great meal and like watching them love it? And she doesn't. And I was like, what the fuck? You
I
don't. She
understand
does.
that, though.
Some people like taking care of people and get like
I do.
get
I like
so
take
fucking
care of-
horny if I'm making you horny. But if I'm not making you horny, I don't really even
Right.
want to
Yeah,
fuck
I know.
Right.
I,
you. Like
I
I've
agree.
had two girls at the same time, and I've hated it because they're laughing, they're doing it because it's funny. I'm like, this isn't a turn on. I can't even get hard. These girls are gorgeous, and they're into each other more than me. I said I'd rather have one girl who's really
Into
like
it.
and like.
looking at you.
I remember a line that I had with an acting teacher, and I thought I had this acting teacher in New York. That this guy Tom Noonan, who's like an amazing actor, and he's been in tons of movies, and he would teach, and you would have to do his writing.
Yeah.
Because he was a writer too, so you wouldn't act at like a scene from fucking. Marry the girl that's like there's such a like
But somebody does.
but the
He's
weird
usually
thing is
90
my wife
years
and I
old.
we don't have bad sex. We have amazing sex.
But you
it's
want
just-
more of it.
But
It's
it's
just
not
getting
all the
her
time.
started.
Yeah.
Well,
you know, here's the
She's
other
got to she has to really like I used to have a funny. Here's another one. I forget about
How
you guys.
old is
Remind
she?
me of things.
How old is she?
She's only 41.
Okay.
I had a joke about how.
That's when I was fucking a lot in my 40s.
Yeah. Oh, I had a joke about this is what she said to me. She goes, "You know what really turns me on?" I go, "What?" She goes, "When you're a great dad." And I was like, "What?" I go, "The girl before you I dated got turned on when I faked raped her with a knife." I go, I could try to. I go, which is way easier to do.
No,
by the
but
way,
what
than
does-
being a great dad.
You know what turns me
I
on?
can try to murder you, but
It's weird. It's weird. Like the little things that turn you on. Like when
I'm
my
divorced
husband.
after this
when
podcast.
my,
I know, I'm gonna
when my
say.
why
husband,
do I enjoy this feeling of that?
listen, when my husband comes home dirty from work and he's in his those disgusting boots and he's
Yeah.
got that vest on that he was working the tracks and he was
Yeah,
digging.
yeah.
I'm turned on at that.
I know.
point.
He's a
Right.
man. That's because he's a
Right.
man.
He's a man, and I could bang him. But like you said, like the whole day will go by. But I do. I cook for him. I make his dinner. I do laundry.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
very
I-
nurturing to him.
Well,
You
I
are a
used to say
nurturing
that
person.
that I think it's because my wife is Italian, but really we don't know if she's Italian because her dad's adopted, and we don't know his
Oh,
roots.
so yeah.
So she could not be. And I go, that's an Italian thing, and she's not. That's what everybody says. I want to
you should
secretly
do it.
because my
Why
wife
secretly?
Well, my
Get her
wife.
toothbrush.
My wife's. My wife does like research for a living.
Get a vaginal
And
swab.
she started to narrow in on his like birth parents and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I could tell it kind of weirded him out. He goes,
Really?
I've lived long enough.
No, they don't want to know.
Because he had a tough life.
Yeah, maybe he
No,
doesn't
but
want to.
get
He
your
doesn't
wife.
wanna
But
know.
you should go get a vaginal.
I want to know for my
Wait,
kids.
for your
he
kids,
goes,
you should.
get
How
a
do you
vag-
do it?
He goes, get a vaginal swab. I go, he's got a better chance of getting an oral swab.
Here's the thing about Kevin, though. When I never cook, so he always, and I know when he wants to bang, like when it's been like a
I love
week
that
or
you
it's
used
been
to-
a little
My wife's
time.
never said
Bang.
the word bang.
Oh
in
my
her
God!
life.
I always know when he's ready because I'll come home from whatever. Like I'll be at
He'll be
the
showered?
and she's gonna start- He's showered. He makes nice food. Buys me roses. He's got a dinner. He makes really good food. I sit down and eat this food, and it's like. Almighty, he goes, it's the higher, am I full? Did I eat a good full meal? Do I have nothing that I'm worried about? There's no problem with anything with the kid. He makes a little, what's that show that we always watch, Jeopardy? And then let's fuck, you know what I mean? Jeopardy, and then we fuck. And he can't beat me too
I
hard.
miss? Do you want to know what I miss?
What?
I miss the spontaneous fuck.
This should be my
I
set.
am terrible.
I have 4 minutes, so
Do
I
you
got to go on
remember the
stage.
spontaneous?
But Lenny's
I
still
used
on.
to do
Do you
the
remember
spontaneous fuck.
the
I don't do it
spontaneous
anymore.
fuck?
No,
Well, you'd be
never
hanging out-
spontaneous. It's
No,
always
never
like, all
Not
right,
now.
dear.
I'm not talking about married life. I'm talking
Oh.
about when you were single. You'd be hanging out with your boyfriend, and all of a sudden you'd be like on the car, and you would,
Yeah.
in front of a whole crowd of people, and it was like spontaneous.
You'd be
in
glad
an elevator.
you'd be glad that they could see in the room that you're staying in, right?
Right.
You'd be like, oh, awesome! Everybody
was
can
the
watch. It's gonna
coolest-
be a good
I
week.
never do because what if
You
I
didn't-
smell? I got to
oh,
wash
stop!
first.
You
I
didn't
wash
smell
the
when you were
vagina.
20 years old. Come on.
My wife actually gets pissed because I'll bring up things that she did when we were dating, and she's just she has no memory for it. She goes, "No, I didn't. What? I never did that." I'm like, "What do you?" Not only did you do it, it's all I think about. You know what I mean?
What? You mean certain kind of sex, like hot sex?
Yeah, like she would like do things that, and then she goes, that's because we weren't married, and it weirds me out. I'm like, it should be different. It should be, you should be more sexual
Yeah,
when
'cause
you're
now
married.
she's-
I'm not going because the challenge isn't as exciting. She probably thought she didn't deserve me. That's what attracts people in life, right? Why do you think girls come up after the show to a married guy?
I
You know,
I think it would be. I
and
think
say shit like, it's really wrong, and that's why I know you're married, but
they
it's
do
like,
say that to you.
I've had it said to me a couple times. They're usually psychopaths. They're not quality women, but
The only time
there's
I get any
turn
guy who
on.
wants to fuck me after a show, and if he's like young or decent looking, he's bombed off his ass. Those are the only guys who are trying to fuck me at this point. Really drunk
that's the other
guys.
thing. My wife and I've never seen my wife drunk ever in a 12-year marriage. I'm like, can you
Why?
just fucking get
A
wasted
couple
once?
of glasses of wine will
She
loosen
does
her up.
that, but
But she
it's
doesn't
never,
get out of control.
Never. I've never seen her drunk and out of control.
That's why she holds a $200,000 a year job down.
Yeah, she's super organized. She sees advance too much.
But
You're
she's the
right.
therapist.
She knows that if she drinks too much, she's gonna have a headache, and then it's gonna happen. She's gonna be a bad mom the next morning. And she'll want to. She knows that, and I'm like,
But maybe that's what you feel safe about because
probably
you have
is.
all
I
these
was
cra-
never
and-
attracted enough to marry anybody else,
Yeah,
and I
and-
knew I wanted to marry her real fast.
And this girl's got everything together, so you
Yes.
can go off and be crazy and have crazy thoughts and do whatever, and she's going to have her shit together, so you're okay, right?
I guess, yes.
All right.
Yes.
So then, what the fuck are you complaining about?
He just wants to get laid by
No, I
somebody who
know.
Well,
really means
I'm not
it.
even. I
No,
don't
I'm kidding.
mind.
I'm
I don't
kidding.
even need a lot of sex, really. I'm not like
Once a week?
Once a week is what I think.
that you should get once a
We've
week.
said once a week is a
That's
perfect
good.
number for us. And we,
Adam-
and
Adam,
we,
how old are
every
you?
time we're not getting along, it's because we fell off the once a
How
week.
much? How many times a week? 35. What do you get?
Is he married?
He's got
No,
a girlfriend.
girlfriend.
Well, it's different.
No, but only once a week.
Really? Okay. All right.
Okay.
So
All
you're,
right.
you're
It's-
fucking
it's-
almost as much as I.
It's fine.
Okay.
No, I think the older the man
I've
gets.
always been that
but
way. Even
no,
when I was younger, once a week
Really?
was fine.
No,
yeah, I was
see-
never super like I need to fuck
you're
you
not super
constantly.
No, no.
horny, like a Jim Norton type that
If there
wants
was
to fuck anything.
well, I used to do another joke where, see, this is what pisses me off about maybe my wife, and I don't know if all women. She can have sex a lot when it's to try to get pregnant.
Pregnant.
Like
Oh,
we
yeah.
were having sex like every day
Oh, yeah.
for like a month,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
true.
like And now, if you know once a week is the recipe for happy marriage,
Do
why are you not doing it?
Even a hand job.
I
Come
used
on.
to get pissed when I would go to group therapy, and the therapist would tell people what to do, and you knew it would work if they did it.
Yeah.
And they'd come back the next week and go, "Oh, I didn't do it." I'm like, we know once a week works.
Yeah.
Force yourself.
Yes.
It's fucking Sunday. It's 9 o'clock.
I agree.
Fuck, even if you don't want to, because I can get hard.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
I can't not. I'm fine. All you have to say, you could say like, I don't want to have sex, but we should. And I'm like, yeah. And then it happens.
And then
why not do that?
Yes.
That's
well, you know,
hilarious.
Why are you making me take some? I'm turned into Ray Liotta now. I'm Ray Liotta. Why are you doing that to me? I take meds for you.
so
You
just
can't
fuck me.
I don't get it.
That's all men want.
I
They
know
only
my
want-
therapist would go, "You're 100% right."
I go to my fiancé. I go, "What do you want for your birthday?" He goes, "You know what I want." That's all he wants. He wants to
Right.
get fucked
I
for
know
his
my
birthday.
husband
That's
too.
all
My
I
hu-
want.
That's what I
My
should. My
husband
birthday's
wants.
coming up.
So say, "This is what I want for my birthday.
Listen.
I
Turning
want you
50.
to fuck me no matter what for my birthday."
My husband one time had sex with me while I was asleep, and he goes, "You don't remember?" I go, "No." I go, "If you can do that a lot, do it. Just don't wake me up. Just don't wake
I have fully
me up."
masturbated with my wife right next to me to
Really?
completion.
But my fiance says
All
the same
over
thing.
myself.
Oh my
and
God!
went
My
to sleep.
husband
And what does
too.
she
He
say?
doesn't
She doesn't
Just
say
fucking
anything.
rubbed my shorts into it. Go
And
to
does
sleep.
she not know?
No, she has
Doesn't
no idea.
matter.
She's asleep?
No, my husband
No.
does. I've seen my husband do it. I'm like, good, as long as because my hand gets tired.
Right.
Everything gets
And then
tired.
there's other women
My
that'll get
knees.
turned on watching you masturbate. Like
Yeah,
there's
sure.
a whole other level of people.
You know what
Yeah, but
bothers
maybe you don't
me?
want to marry that
You
girl,
know what
though.
bothers?
no,
Is that
but she's
Steven
great.
Scott? Oh my
it's
god!
great fun.
So, you know what
Exactly.
bothers me when
What?
you're giving a blowjob,
Yes.
and all of a sudden I'm like, how much fucking longer?
Oh, I
Because-
know.
But and then all of a sudden he's like, well, I didn't want to come quick. I'm like,
Yeah. Don't do me
What?
any favors.
What?
No
My
holding
jaw
off.
hurts.
No.
I come quick. You come quick.
No holding off on blowjobs. I think also some guys it feels better if they hold off and then for the big bam,
I
right?
don't know what it is.
Is that true? You know, and then it'll be a bigger.
Oh, my wife gets
Kaboom.
pissed if I do that.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
we
You
get
can't.
pissed.
She'd rather us have an orgasm. I can't even.
At the
I can't
same
even talk
time,
dirty
I don't want to
anymore.
do it at the
I
same
don't even know how to talk dirty anymore. I just changed come to orgasm. Talking to
Ew.
Carrie Carabas
How
and
did
Patty
that
Rossborough.
happen?
That
And
makes
we're
no
not, we're
sense.
Not, yeah, we're not.
They're
doing
like, bang, suck cock. And I'm like, orgasm.
orgasm.
What the hell? Oh, so what the hell was I? See how I
got
That's
Yeah.
forgot?
always how I am.
You got thrown off because you saw Steven Scott's
looked
big
it.
head.
Oh yeah.
He's like looking more like.
No, you were
Herman
talking
Munster.
about.
Go look at Steven
you will,
Scott's
you
ears.
will have.
He's
He's
got
huge.
very odd ears.
Look how big his head is.
Very elephant-like ears.
I've
Yeah, I
never
didn't notice
seen
that
how
about
big
his
his
head.
head
Oh, go
is.
look
His
at him.
head
Very
is
big
growing.
guy.
He got the part of Spock. They'd have to cut some ear down. That's a good roast joke.
That is a good roast joke. That's me.
The
It's
good
the mean
news
part of
is,
you coming
here's
back.
the part.
The
The
mean
good news
part.
is you got the part, Steven. The bad news is we have to cut your ears back. That's hilarious.
Oh my
I'll
god!
never remember.
That is a
You know what
huge
sucks?
What?
I roasted him once,
You
And
did?
you-
You didn't have that
now-
chance.
And I didn't
You
have
should
that.
Well,
known.
he was younger then.
like 15 years ago.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
he got
Wasn't he
his ass
just?
reamed.
Wasn't he just on America's Got Talent?
Yes, he was.
And
He-
what
how
happened?
did it go? How'd it go?
He did better than me.
How did he do?
Not the first
He
time.
got one of those standing ovation.
He
Not a
did?
standing ovation, but he did pretty well the first time.
Did he do his
But
piano
he
and
didn't
stuff?
do the impressions, which is what he should have
Oh,
done.
his Trump impression is very funny.
He didn't do it. He did his.
How old is he now?
50?
Probably my age.
He looks a lot older than you.
Does he? Thank you.
Well, also, you know, you dress like he's very hip in how he
He's
dresses.
cute. Come on, he's cute.
Oh, did you see Elena? Elena, the first thing she says when his picture's up on Facebook, she goes,
Ellen's
"He's
great.
cute."
She loves me. Ellen.
I know. She's
Ellen,
like,
is that
he's-
Ellen who I think it is?
Elena, her friend. Do you know Elena? Do you know her friend
You
Elena?
might have met her
comment.
back in the day. No, she was
Greek.
not. No. You might have met her back.
Sexy.
She used to hang out with me back in the day. She
Oh.
was really hot.
Not
She's very
Ellen,
hot.
the girl, is a comedian.
No,
Okay.
Elena. Very
I don't know
sexy.
Elena.
Oh, okay.
She's an
I love
artist.
when you find this shit out later. You know the girl that was a model for 10
She
years?
totally loved
She
you.
loved you. I
Yeah.
remember once somebody told me that about Howard Stern's wife.
What, did she
Eddie
like you?
Eddie If said something to me.
What'd
He's
she
like,
say? What did he say?
I go, dude, what are you fucking keeping that from me for? It was before Howard was married to her. What's her name?
He
Oh,
liked
and
her.
she
Yeah,
liked
yeah,
you? She thought you were
liked
cute?
Well, Eddie and her were good friends.
Yeah.
They grew up together in Pittsburgh, and I did a pilot for VH1 with her when she was even hotter than she is when Howard met her. She was beautiful. And I was like, what kind of fucking team player are you that you just
Why
kept
wouldn't
that?
he tell you?
He's like, oh, yeah, she said some things about you. Thought you're cute. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
That always happens.
Where
Because
is
he
Eddie?
probably liked
Eddie
it.
Yeah,
is
that's
in
probably
LA.
why.
He's in LA.
Yeah,
Got married as
He's
kid.
got
We're
kids.
still friends. He has one kid.
He's married?
He's married with one kid, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's
I
a,
loved Eddie Ift.
he's a good guy.
He's funny.
A lot better of a guy than he was when he was a young comic.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Came a long way.
Kevin Brennan was doing it, talking
I
about
loved him when
Eddie
he was
Ift,
a young
and
comic.
he
Did you?
says,
too, yeah.
all I can think of is those big teeth
up,
in that
you're
forehead.
You're up. You're up.
I'm up.
You're up?
Tell him I can't go on stage. I'm a podcast.
Go. You got to make
You have
it.
to
I don't
go?
even, this podcast
Come
is
back.
so fun. I don't even want
How
to
long's
leave.
your
You got to
spot?
make
I gotta
it
do-
20 bucks.
We want to hear more about your fucking.
We can continue, and if you can splice in. I
We
mean,
cannot
I'm gonna
splice
do
in,
15
but
minutes.
we're going to have you back. You
Oh,
want?
we're an hour
wait,
and a
Oh yeah, we
okay.
went long.
We're
So
gonna have
wrap
you
it
back.
up with me because
We're
Lenny's
gonna
on
have you
stage.
Okay,
back
where-
on the show.
There's like 6
Where
things
are
that I
you gonna
started
be?
to say. I know everybody listening,
Okay,
and I
and then
didn't
we'll go back.
complete them.
We didn't even
the
answer
joke,
anybody.
The joke that I didn't on America's Got Talent, never got mentioned.
Addy in full effect now, somebody said.
Let
Is
me
it?
ask you.
Oh, am I going really fast?
Peaches
Am I-
Rodriguez says Joe loves me. Is that true?
Let me ask you
Okay.
something.
Can I see a picture of Elena?
Yes.
Is she
Can
married?
Can I ask you a question?
Oh, you want to see her? She's very
Where-
hot, but your
can you
wife's not
plug
going to
where
like
you're
it. if
gonna
I
be?
show you.
Women always think people are hot that aren't hot. My wife will be
No,
so
no.
off base.
No,
oh, this
no.
girl's gorgeous. I'm
Okay.
like, she's 6'6".
Show Elena.
Can you plug where you're going to be this weekend?
Every picture, she's in a bikini top and a bikini bottom.
Oh
she's
no, she's gonna be super
she's
hot.
cute. Well, she's got a great
I'm
body.
I want to plug my website joematarese.com where you can buy my 1-hour special called Medicated. Oh my God, she's smoking.
Okay, well, show the body though. Where's the body?
Let me get the
see the
pictures.
body.
Let me get the pictures. 'cause
Show
you-
her in
Greek?
Greece.
She
Okay,
Greek?
here.
Show
Here's
her
the
in
picture.
Greek.
Here's the
Show
picture
her in Greece
Greece.
going down on 11 guys.
Look, there you go.
Are you fucking kidding me? Why? And that's her now? She liked
That's
me
her
when she was
now.
even
Yeah,
better
no,
than
no,
that?
She was better than that.
Oh, she's married
Elena
now, right?
she's totally.
Look, there she is.
She's got 6 kids.
No, she's not married.
That's
she's
her
still.
now?
Yeah.
How old is she?
That's what I mean. She looks like she's 20, but I don't know how
Well,
old
she's
she
like
is.
Carrie, you know.
She's
Carrie.
40. She's 40. I don't know. She's
She
40.
is married. There's a
But
guy.
No, she's
Oh,
not.
yeah, she's smoking hot.
Yes.
Tell her I said
And every
thank you,
picture
and
is
if-
posted
she
that I'm
sent me
married.
pictures. Oh my God! Good thing I never met her.
Away.
She would have divorced me.
away.
I used to get dumped by girls like that. I've had them, but they don't. They never stay with me. 'Cause
Where are you
They
gonna
like
be?
me
They're
better.
bringing you
Oh,
on.
joematarese.com. Check out. Go buy my special that you can buy for rent or download on
what's
joematarese.com.
the fucking
It's called
Waze thing?
Medicated.
And some
you
Waze-
can. I have a Waze thing where
That
you
doesn't
can
make
all my
sense.
voice. I do character voices that you
For
can
Waze.
buy, and they go right into your Waze.
Okay,
app.
where are you? Where are you going to be this weekend?
I think I'm just here because Saturday's
the
my
comic strip?
50th birthday.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
well,
here at the
happy
comic strip
birthday,
Friday night.
and we'll have you back.
And the other clothes.
We
Greenwich
loved
Village.
having you.
I love you
Love you
guys.
guys.
We need
love
to
you,
Mwah.
love you.
turn this
Mwah.
into something.
Kisses. All right, Joe Matarese. Yeah, he is. See you later, sweetie.
We'll be here when I
We'll be here
Yeah,
when you get
maybe.
off.
We gotta
we'll
see.
be here when you get off, but
Okay,
have a
goodbye.
good set.
Yeah,
but
we'll
we won't,
see. Have a
we're gonna
good one.
end This.
Wait a
I'm
minute. Are we
so
ending now?
excited.
Are we
Yeah,
bringing
we're
up?
gonna-
Are we bringing
we're
up? What's his
wrapping it
name?
up.
Or we been on
no,
too long?
We're wrapping it up.
He's got to go. Oh shit.
Yeah,
oh
let's
shit.
go.
Oh, I
We're-
didn't know we
we're
were on
done.
that long. Look at all my questions for Joe Matarese.
You
Didn't
missed
do one
them.
of them.
No, because
didn't
he's
do
talking
one
about
because he's talking
sex,
about
and you
sex,
got a little
and that's it.
crazy.
All right.
and-
So where are you going to be this weekend?
Well, I'm at the Port Jefferson Theater.
Oh, nice.
So I'll be doing a show Saturday night, I think, with Keith Anthony, who is another one of my favorite comedians in the whole world.
Hilarious, hilarious.
Favorite. And who else? Who else am I working with? Oh, and Rich Walker, another one of my
I love
best
Rich
friends.
Walker. Manny Arias says hi, honey baby, to you.
And, he's very sad that next week we have Jackie the Joke Man Martling on.
Yes,
So that's
yes.
going to be a great show. You guys have to
Thursday at
watch it.
3:30. It's the afternoon one for next
But you
week.
can always watch it on my Facebook later.
Later. It's
Or
going to be.
you can catch it on iTunes. So
Yes.
Go
yes.
to iTunes or YouTube. Subscribe to our show. It's Chick Chat on iTunes. Make sure you subscribe because I need
Yes.
to know how many people are actually listening to. When you drive, you listen to our show. It's
That's right.
hilarious.
Exactly.
Right, Patty?
Of
I
course.
listen to it. It puts me right to sleep at night. No, I actually listen to it when on my headset, and I go, right before I go to bed. I love it.
You know what? My sister always listens to podcasts to fall asleep. I said, but doesn't that get you like thinking and awake? And she goes, no, that's always the way she falls asleep is to a podcast. So Anyway, it's a good thing I do it driving. That's when my podcast time. All
Well,
right.
you drive a lot. You go from here to like Chicago and
yes,
back.
to Rhinebeck.
Every time I talk to Patty, I'm like, Patty, where are you this weekend? Oh, I'm doing this little gig in
God's land.
Yeah, like in Pennsylvania, all the way on the
fucking horrible. I'm going to be this weekend. I'm going to be at Thompson's Restaurant in New Milford, Connecticut. And here's the thing, though. It's a black man who runs it, and it had a hate crime happen to it 2 days ago, and they wrote slurs, and they did swastikas on his. And he just opened this restaurant, and this is only his second week with comedy. So everybody, if you live in New Milford or anywhere near, come support this guy. They had to take all the stuff off the front. The police are.
That's ridiculous.
It's fucking sad.
No, it really is sad that we're all one.
It's like,
don't they understand that?
It's
honestly,
ignorant, and it's just
ridiculous.
Yeah, and
calm the fuck down.
So anyway, come on down, see the show, support a great guy who opened a restaurant with great food and is trying to do comedy, and then some douchebags trying to, close it down with all this other stuff. But it's not, and it's open, so come on down. Thompson's, New Milford, Thompson's Restaurant.
And you can't miss it because she's hysterical.
And as is Carrie. Carrie is the one.
But you know what the bad part? We're up against that stupid fight Saturday
fight?
night. What's the fight?
What's the fight?
It's a big boxing fight.
Oh, but that's
Mayweather. But they're saying that it's fixed and someone's going to go take.
Who's
the
the fixed one? Who's taking the money? Adam, we're here with Adam, and we're at the Comic Strip Live, for Christ's sake. We almost forgot to say.
We did mention it. We're at the Comic Strip,
right.
and if you look behind us, Joe Matarese is on the stage right now.
Oh, he is. I feel terrible because I told D.F. Sweedler that we were going to have him on, but it's too late.
Yeah, it is way too late. We ran too late, so sorry,
fuck.
D.F.
I hope he isn't waiting around for us. Anyway, we'll have D.F. Sweedler on again.
We'll have him on another day because I would like to talk to him about how he's been, everything he's done in this place for the last 35 years.
And how he and I ended up in a hotel room together with two other people banging under a comforter. So we'll talk about that when he comes on.